Well, hello everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to another lawn live stream Q&A. My name is Ron Henry, and I'm here to help answer your lawn questions. Way this works, super simple. You'll see a chat box there with a bunch of other people that are asking questions and having a good time and having sidebars. Feel free to drop your questions in there in the order they come in, as the order I go through them. Sometimes I have the answer, sometimes I don't. But either way, we have a great time talking about lawn care. Guys, well, the heat is officially here. Summer is, I'm not sure if it's officially summer yet, but it sure feels like it. We haven't been getting rain, which is not good, but hopefully all you guys are doing well. Let's see who we have in the live stream tonight. All right, first we got Mary J. She says, "Hey Ron, I'm starting a Bermuda lawn this year from seed. Can you please demonstrate your rain dance because I'm having no luck." Yeah, so growing Bermuda from seed, Mary, is tough. I always call it hard mode. I jokingly call it hard mode because really you need 2 to 3 weeks of the soil staying relatively moist to get good germination. And unless you have an irrigation system, that can be kind of tough to pull off. So I hear you. There's not much rain in the forecast. I actually looked at it today before the live stream. I think we're supposed to have some the latter part of next week, and it's only like 40%. So I'm not sure if you're in Georgia or not, but if you are, these parts aren't expecting any significant amount of rain anytime soon. So sorry, I am not more help on that one. Besides, you would want to see me rain dance anyway. Believe me, it would not be good. Would not be good. Guys, also remember that tonight we're also doing the giveaway of Advion fire ant bait. So if the way you have to enter that, some of you guys have already done it, but if you were in the live stream last week or you missed it, if you did, shame on you. But go to the video on fire ant bait, the one that I did a couple of weeks ago, and in there just leave a comment with Advion in the comments. Or say something like, give me my Advion fire ant bait, or I'd like to do entering to win the Advion bait, whatever you want to put. It just has to have Advion in your comment, and then you're entered to win. Later on in the show tonight, we will do the actual drawing. It's gonna be random using this tool, and someone tomorrow morning will get shipped a 2-pound jug of Advion fire ant bait. So great stuff for that, right? Let's see here. Let's see what other questions we have, what other comments. Next up, we got VMH in the house. He says, "Hey Ron, happy Friday. Concluded the effectiveness of Dimension 2EW, tilled about a 500 square foot lawn down to 6 inches deep, and spread 3 pounds of Bermuda seed. And I watered 4 times a day for 4 weeks." Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. And then what happened? It says all the Bermuda sprouts I saw died within a few days. Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen with pre-emergent, right? It really suppresses the plant's ability to grow roots, which is going to cause it to die. So I'm not surprised that happened. You didn't get any germination, like none of it made it, or like literally all of it died. VMH. That would be that'd be interesting. So sorry you're dealing with that, but there you go. At least you know that pre-emergent works when it's applied properly. It definitely works, right? And I saw a super chat here. Let me run down here and grab that really quick. The first one here from Mr. Ben Raham. Thanks so much, Ben.
Super chat received.
He says, "I think the mystery weed I have is cooch grass, if that's possible in North Georgia." I've hit it with glyphosate, tilling rake, and reseeding this weekend. I had killed most of the Bermuda anyhow. Don't spray image 24D on dormant. And that's the end of your comment. Yeah, I've never heard of cooch grass being here, not in Northeast Georgia. I mean, I'm not saying it can happen, but anytime I've heard about that particular grass, it's always been mostly in Australia. Normally when you watch like some of the Australian YouTubers, they mention cooch grass quite a bit. So I'd be surprised if it were here. I don't know if there's anything that would prevent it from growing here, but that would be a first. I've never, like you, Ben, I've never heard of cooch grass growing in Northeast Georgia. So maybe that's what it was, but it sounds like you got rid of it with glyphosate, and it sounds like you're starting over, you're burning it down, starting over from scratch. So good to go. Awesome stuff. And for the super chat, first of all, thank you so much for that. That makes you the show sponsor for the time being. Appreciate the support, sir. Appreciate the support. Guys, so this was a busy week. If some of you have been following on the YouTube comments or YouTube stories, you guys have seen the new mower. I picked up a new mower from Allett, the Allett C27 Evolution. It's a very expensive mower. But I got it and an 8-blade reel and a couple of cartridges. So the turf rake and also the verticutter. You guys know all season I've been talking about getting a verticutter, and this is rather an expensive way to get a verticutter, but it's a way for me to also get one that also catches the clipping. So I'm going to be trying the Allett route this season, the rest of the remainder of the season, as far as what they recommend as far as turf care, and we'll see what happens. We'll see. All right, next up is Brick Rehab. He says, "Hey Ron, this isn't a question, but a story. Uh-oh, here we go. I did something kind of right last weekend and something really wrong. Got to do tell." He says, the kind of right. I purchased a 20-inch Scott's classic reel mower. That's good. That's good. We can start with the applause for that. He says, I top dressed with 50/50 compost, which ended up having small pieces of wood in it. Too small to pick up, but big enough that I can't use a real mower. A couple more weeks of Rotary to mulch it up, I guess. Yeah, that stinks, man. That is a that's one of the negatives of when it comes to when you getting some of these blends. You don't know what you're really getting, right? Unless you see it ahead of time. What you get whenever they come to drop it off is what you get, unfortunately. And it sounds like you got some pieces of wood, bark, and stuff in yours, which is not uncommon. Not uncommon. And hopefully, the rotary mower either, like you said, either chops it up, breaks it up here pretty quickly, or you're able to rake some of it out, right? Hopefully, you're able to do some of that. So, sorry you're dealing with that, Brick Rehab, but it's all par for the course, man. I've gotten top dressing mixes before where they're literally with rocks all through it. I'm talking about rocks like this size, I mean, really large rocks to where you wonder if it was even screened at all. So I've been through that, exactly what you're going through to varying degrees, which is why I'm such a big fan of the super sod level mix, because it's just clean, right? There's not any garbage in it. It saves you a lot of time. Speaking of which, I'm going to be doing a top dressing tomorrow morning. I'm going to help a buddy out, drop 3 bags of that stuff. So pray for me, guys. Pray for me. All right. Next up is Mr. Andrew Phillips. He's in the house. He says, wanted to drop in and say, hi, Ron. That C27 is on fire. Got to get a cut in before it rains. Pound it. I hear you, man. Yep, go get your mow on, man. Definitely, that's definitely the more important thing. When you're done, you can come back here and hang out. But I appreciate that, Andrew. So for those of you guys who don't know what Andrew's talking about, I think I got a video of it up here. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I can't believe that I would not have done that, but it looks like I didn't. If not, I will. I'll bring it over here. So it's an image, a short video of the new reel mower. If you guys haven't seen it as yet, this is it. Let me see if I can get it to come up here. Let's see. Let's see. Technology, don't fail me. There it is. Okay, so this is the C27 Evolution from Allett. This is their professional grade mowers. What I mean by that is it's literally a commercial mower that's used on football pitches, on cricket pitches. Some NFL teams use it. It's battery powered, runs on 3 82-volt batteries. It's a massive, massive piece of equipment that is very heavy. I mean, you think that a Greensmaster is heavy, which I personally think they're pretty heavy mowers. This thing is way heavier. I think they label it at 164 kilos. So just somewhere around 340 pounds is what it weighs, and it's definitely all that and then some. So it's pretty awesome. I've been playing with it a bit here on my lawn and Alex's lawn. I've already done some verticutting, a bit of other things to the lawn to just to play with it and see how it does. And so far, I'm liking it. If you guys want to see that, I'll show you Andrew. I'm not sure if you're still around or not, but this is the lawn after being verticut twice, turf raked 4 times, and then mowed in 2 different directions with the C27. The big thing that I noticed with it is the stripes. The stripes are I mean, the Greensmaster stripes really well, but this thing stripes like it's nobody's business. I mean, it's because a lot of it's the weight of the mower. You've got the big heavy roller in the front, the big heavy drum in the back, and it's just a really heavy mower, so it lays down really, really solid stripes. So no complaints whatsoever so far about it. I've got to work out using it on a slope, but it may end up mainly being on back lawn duty because it's such a massive piece of equipment. It's so much bigger than the GM, and plenty of battery power to get through all that stuff that I was talking about. Great piece of equipment. So stay tuned on the channel if you guys actually want to see some of it actually being used. If you're a subscriber, or if you could have a way to get to my YouTube stories on mobile, you can actually see it being used like at some points this afternoon. So yesterday evening, I ran it a little bit as well too, so you can see how the mower actually runs and how quiet it is. And yeah, it's an awesome bit of kit. The biggest thing I would say about it is that it's heavy, super heavy, super massive. Like I'm not gonna break it. I'm not gonna wear it out. All right, thanks for that, Andrew. Have a good time mowing the lawn. We will see you shortly, sir. Hopefully you make it back. All right. Next up is Gunny Grasshopper. Gunny Grasshopper says, "Hey Ron and all, thanks for all these Friday sessions. I have the best lawn in my subdivision. Much appreciated." That's what it's about, Gunny. You know, we all like to compete a little bit when it comes to our lawns, right? I mean, you want to definitely help your neighbors out as well, but you know, there's often a silent competition that goes on within the neighborhood around who can get the best lawn. So I'm glad that the little tips that you get here and there from the show has been helpful to you getting the best lawn in your subdivision. Keep it up, man. Keep the work up. Keep it up. You know, it's only going to get better the more and more you do it. So, which is really, really good. You're saying that lots of folks are ringing my doorbell asking what I'm doing. Envy of the neighborhood, my brother. Yep. So share some tips. You know, send them to the golf course lawn store. Tell them about the program. Tell them about, you know, everything that goes into it. That goes into making creating a great lawn. It's just a lot of work, really. You know, it's a lot of work. Especially the shorter you go, the more work you have to put in. But I'm glad to hear that you're getting good results, which is awesome. That's why we do this, right? All right. Next up is Patrick in Texas. He says, "Well, after many weeks of consideration, I finally picked up the RB60 spreader. Thanks for everything." Nice. It's a great spreader, Patrick. So I think you're going to like that. I think it's the settings on that spreader are, does it mirror the Scotch or does it mirror the Earthway? I know it mirrors some other spreader exactly. So that's a good thing about that one, picking that one up. I think Alan and some other YouTubers have reviewed that particular spreader and had great things to say about it. So I'm sure you're going to like it. But yeah, guys, I got to tell you, I'm very, very excited. You know, like, again, going back to the mower, because I know some of you guys wanted to talk about that some tonight. You know, we use it on Alec's lawn. If you want to see what it did to his lawn today, and again, we'll show this a couple times throughout the show for people as they come in. But that was my lawn you guys saw earlier, and then this is Alex's lawn. To his words, and I'm not, you know, misstating here, he says, "My lawn has never looked like that before. It's never striped like that." And mind you guys, that is only one time. That's only one time. That's only like one pass of the turf rake and only one one pass of the turf rake, one verticut, and one mow with that mower. And it's crazy how much material, as much as I think I do a pretty good job of managing thatch and keeping debris out of my lawn, how much stuff is really coming out of it. So we're going to try it. We're going to see how it goes. And you guys will stay posted. If it works well, you'll see that. If it doesn't work well, you'll see that too. So it's going to be a fun ride. So stay tuned for that. Definitely subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. All right, next up is Archie Amos. Archie says, "Hey, I got my Flow Zone Cyclone today and it had multiple tips." Oh, cool. That's cool. So did it came with them, Archie? If so, that's awesome. That's good that Flow Zone is starting to do that. They're taking a page out of Yard Mastery's book, which is good, right? Because that gives you guys more options if you want a sprayer that has, you know, multiple settings on it or multiple PSI settings or whatnot. I'm not sure if the Cyclone does it. I know the Typhoon does, but let's say the Cyclone does. I'm assuming the Cyclone does as well. But let's say that's the case. The fact that they now include the sprayer tips, like the T-Jet tips, if that's what you're telling me, I'm not sure if that's what you're saying, but it sounds like it is. That's awesome, because now they're at a level playing field with the Yard Mastery sprayer, and then you can just buy the one that you like more, right? It's very, very good stuff, man. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Be sure to calibrate your sprayer so you make sure you get a good result with whatever you're applying to your lawn. Next up is Mr. Robert Rainey. That high finish is, "Good evening, everyone." What's going on, Robert? Robert is someone I'm gonna have to stop talking to, because every time I start talking to Robert, I end up spending money. You know, I haven't gotten the Darwin grip yet, but this is Rotary scissors, the steel, I've been corrected, the steel RG is because of him. So if you guys saw that video, it's all Robert's fault. Hopefully you're doing well, sir. Thanks for coming to hang out a bit. And then next up we have Mr. Papa Mo's Low. He says, "Hey everyone, just picked up my new to me JD 2060 or 260 rather. Can't read tonight." He says, "Thank you, Bermuda boss. Very, very awesome. Very cool, man. Congrats on
Super chat received.
on the new mower." Wrong sound effect. Congrats on the new mower. But here's the thing, Papa Mo's Low. Next week, we're gonna let it slide this time, but next week, between now and next week, we gotta get a picture of it. You gotta show us a picture of the new hardware, man. Everyone wants to see it. Everyone wants to see the new hardware. So definitely send those our way and we'll get them up on the channel for you. We'll get them up on the channel. Because here's the thing, guys. I always tell you, if you send me pictures of your lawn, I will show them off on the channel, assuming that, you know, I get permission to do so. Like, I have a couple of pictures from viewers that I said I promised them I would show off tonight. So here's the thing. You guys know I always talk about reel mowing. Huge fan of reel mowing. Like, reel mowing is, like, you know, the alpha and the omega of taking care of Bermuda lawn, in my opinion. But you know, there's some people out there that don't want to reel mow their lawns, or they just want to get a really good result with a rotary mower. So I've had a viewer that sent some pictures in to me saying, "Hey, show your viewers that you can actually get pretty good results with a rotary mower on Bermuda." So this is Ben. This is Ben's lawn. Actually, I'm going to get Papa Mo's low comment off of there. And look at that grass. I mean, that looks pretty good. It's really good. I mean, you could tell that it's not real mode, but I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that. Looks really good in my book. And then his back lawn is there, again, really nice and smooth. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So you can get great results with a lawn from using a rotary, assuming you're following all the rules, which Ben is, which is make sure you're mowing frequently and that you're using a sharp mower blade. I mean, that's a great looking lawn. I mean, especially from a distance, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a really, really good looking stand of grass right there. So great work, Ben. Keep it up. And don't worry about it. I'll keep working on you. Eventually, you're going to come over to the dark side. Eventually. If you're already mowing a couple times a week, why not mow a couple times a week with a real mower? It's that much more fun, right? All right, next up is a question from Archie Amos. He says, was watching one of the other lawn guys earlier, and he's presented a product that I had not heard of, Mycorrhiza Pro. States it reinforces the root system. Have you heard of it? And if so, what are your thoughts? I've never heard of it, but mycorrhiza is it's like I think it actually literally translates to like root fungus or something like that. And the thing that you think about with it, with a lot of beneficial bacteria and fungi that are in the soil, is that they help with nutrient uptake. So mycorrhiza, as a matter of fact, Supersod puts some of that into their leveling mix, into their soil cubed compost. They actually add mycorrhiza to it. So yeah, I'm not surprised that it helps the root system, but it helps like all aspects of the plant, right? It helps nutrient uptake, which helps the stuff that grows above ground. It helps the stuff that grows below ground. So yeah, I've not heard that particular product, but if it sounds like it contains mycorrhiza, which it probably does based on the name, it's likely a decent product. But I've never heard of it before, Archie. So hope that helps. Their claims are probably sound that it helps reinforce the root system, but it also helps other parts of the grass too. It's not just the roots, All right, and Papa Moslow says, at Robert Rainey, it makes me want to throw my Swartman in the dumpster after getting the John Deere. Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said that, a greens mower is another level, another step up, compared to like a sub $5,000 mower, sub $4,000 mower, right? It just is, because the build quality is gonna be better, that the weight of it is better. Like one thing you're gonna notice with that mower, Papa Moslow, is that the same thing I'm seeing with the Evolution is that the weight helps as far as like getting really good stripes, as far as the mower tracking nice and true and having those stripes last longer. All those things are benefits that come out of greens mowers. Also, what you'll find, I haven't actually measured on the Swordman, but on a lot of greens mowers, the I say wheelbase, but it's not really the wheelbase, but the distance between the front roller and the rear drum, like it tends to be shorter or closer together than you will find on your True Cuts or McLean's, which helps prevent issues with scalping, right? So in general, it's a piece of equipment that's designed for cutting turf short and doing it in a really good way. So I'm not surprised you got it. I'm sure you're going to get great results with it. The only thing I ask is that between this week and next week, if you would be so kind as to send us a picture so we can show it off, that would be much appreciated. All right. Next up is Robert Rainey. He says, for the record, I want everyone to know that I was not an influencer in Ron's latest addition to his fleet of mowers. That is a fine mower, though. Yep, it is. You are not. I can't blame you for that one, Robert. The one person I really need to blame for that is Roland, right? So Roland from Allett, when he came out with the Sterling, he brought it out to me for a couple of hours for me to make the content on it, because I didn't actually get to keep it very long. So that entire video, that whole thing was shot within a couple of hours, which for me is really short. Normally my stuff takes a lot longer than that to shoot. And he was looking at the lawn, and I was telling him, all the work I've been doing to it, and he, obviously says, the lawn looks great. As far as like lawns go, it's definitely one of the better lawns that I've come across. Because if you want to take it to that next level, you should consider like doing our turf grass program. And I'm like, so what does that involve? As well, it goes against what's considered to be conventional wisdom, but we like to get all the thatch out of the lawn. We like to, we obviously like to mow a lot, but reducing the thatch helps improve your water getting down into the soil. It helps prevent fungus problems. It helps, you get more out of your fertilizer because it's not sitting in the thatch, it's actually getting down in the soil, and it's going to stripe better. All things that I really like and am all game for, right? So this is a very expensive experiment, a very, very expensive experiment, but it's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it works out, because it's one of those things where they say, they can make all the claims, but we'll actually put it to the test. So I'm going to do it exactly the way they recommend for the remainder of this season. I'm going to turf rake and I'm going to mow and on the schedule that they recommend, and we'll see what happens. We're gonna see what happens, right? A lot of people say you shouldn't turf rake Bermuda or turf rake like creeping grasses. We shall see. Well, we're gonna find out together. We're gonna find out together. I gotta tell you though, the lawn took a lot of abuse over the last few evenings, and that still looks pretty good. I mean, the colors come out of it a little bit from all the work that's been done to it, but the stripes are incredible, and the color is still not bad given everything that it's been subject to. So if it's only going to get better from there, confidence is high. But we shall see. So subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys follow the YouTube stories. You're going to see a lot of it that way. All right, next up is Fairway Bermuda. He says, happy Friday, everyone. Hey, Ron, can't wait to hear how you like your new mower. I like it, Daryl. I do like it. It is, okay, so you know how I said like the Greensmaster is like, as far as mowers go, a sharp mower, rotary mower is like your basis, right? And then, in my opinion, a good solid push reel mower is going to make the turf look even better. A powered mower, even better. A greens mower like a Tory or John Deere, even better. This thing, the benefit that the Evolution has, and as far as the ability to lay stripes, they're comparable. I mean, the stripes on this mower, on the Evolution, are a bit better than the Greensmaster, largely due to the weight. But the advantage that it has is that whenever I verticut or turf rake, I can literally grab everything. I can catch everything at the same time, right? So before, you guys saw when I verticut earlier this season using one that I rented from the guys at Keystone, I made a big mess because the verticutter didn't have a way to actually capture clippings. So I verticut the entire lawn. There's a big mess, and I got to get up there and blow it and rake it up and all this kind of stuff, right? So the whole theory, the whole ethos behind what Allett is trying to do is that you can reduce fungus problems, get better stripes, reduce watering requirements, all these things, all the sun, the moon, the stars, and more by really managing or limiting how much thatch or clippings you allow to go back on the lawn. So that's why having the verticutter and having the turf rake with a basket in the front where I can literally catch everything as I'm doing it is pretty appealing. Plus it's battery powered, and one thing I don't have, and you guys have kind of wanted to see, is a battery powered mower. So the Sterling wasn't, it's a great mower, but for the size of my lawn, it's just not big enough. Wouldn't have been a good fit. So the next thing up they had that's battery powered was the Evolution. So that's what I got. And it's so far, confidence is high. I am definitely liking it. I would say that as a mower that allows you to do all your cultural practices in the way it gives you a lot of flexibility, that's a huge benefit of it, right? You know what I mean? If you, as far as being able to just have multiple tools in one, that's where that mower really shines. Plus being battery powered, you can mow super early in the morning or whenever you want, and it's really quiet, which is also nice too. All right, but stay tuned. I'll definitely I have to make a full on review of it. I've only done an unboxing video, so be tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. But I wanted to run the mower a bit first, and so that when I actually create a review, I've got some time on it and can tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, where the strengths are, where the weaknesses are, those types of things, right? I mean, I bought the mower, so I can say whatever I want about it. It's not like Allet's paying me to run their equipment. So it'll be interesting. I want to make it a really good, solid review, but I want to have some time on the mower first before I do that. If you want to see in the meantime, the way you're going to know that or see what's going on with it is my YouTube stories. That's going to be the best way. Okay, next up is Kevin D. He says, hey, Ron, can't wait to see your Allett on the golf course lawn store. I think you mean the YouTube channel. It's going to be there eventually. There's going to be a full-on video, full-on review. You guys know how I do. You guys know my style. You know how I do, guys. But I want it to be a good one, like I just said. I want to make sure I put some time on it first, find out the things that I like about it, things I don't like about it, and then let you guys know my thoughts. The biggest thing I can tell you is I cannot convey. I mean, if you have not seen the unboxing video, watch that. But I can't convey how heavy everything is. Like I wasn't making that up, guys. I'm not shooting my own horn, but I'm a fairly strong guy. That reel, the 8-blade reel that mower comes with. I mean, I need to get the scale out and actually weigh it. It's got to be north of 70, 80 pounds. It's got to be. I mean, just the real cartridge. And that's the heaviest one. And then the verticutter's in second, and then the turf rake is third behind that. But I mean, just in general, if you look at the way this thing is built, it's like, you look at the plates on the side, that's like 1/2 inch. I mean, everything about this thing is beefy and just built to take a lot of abuse. And, you figure that this thing is used on cricket pitches, on soccer fields. I think the Green Bay Packers use these. I mean, they use Allett. I'm not sure they use this particular mower, but they use this particular piece of equipment. And it's just built to run. Because you got to figure, right? Like, I take pretty good care of my stuff, but a lot of these guys that actually do this professionally, like, they use this stuff all the time. So it's got to be built for, it's got to be built to take a licking. So it's the biggest thing you're going to hear me say over and over is that it's heavy. It's really, really heavy. You gotta plan your passes, plan your stripes, plan when you're moving on any kind of slope, plan accordingly. So, all right, next up is Patrick in Texas. He says, I watched the unboxing video, wish my Kensington had some more weight to it. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I'm not sure what the difference is between the Kensington and the Sterling weight-wise, but with a real mower anyway, I am a fan of weight. I think a bit of weight helps the mower, helps the stripes. So I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying there. Havamos Low says, Ron needs a new opening video with the Allett. I will work on that. I will make that happen. It'll be kind of quiet. You're not going to hear it running because it with the reel, literally it's dead nuts quiet. And again, you can hear what it sounds like if you watch my YouTube stories. I've done some clips of that on there, so you guys can check all that out. All right, R. Colson is here. Says, hey Ron, congrats on the new mower. That thing is legit. You continue to work hard and is very well deserved. Enjoy it. Have a great weekend, Randall. Thanks so much, Randall. I really do appreciate it. It's a fun piece of equipment. Looking forward to seeing the results. So far, confidence is really high. It's gonna give me the ability to do a lot of things that I want to do, like again, being able to verticut the lawn, being able to turf rake it. That roller they have, that sorrel roller, like I want to get one of those. It looks almost like an aerator that doesn't pull cores, like a spike aerator. So that is something I eventually want to get. But I all my little fun money I spent on the mower. So I'm gonna have to chill for a while until I get ready to pick up some more cartridges. But I am gonna get more. The sorrel roller eventually, and I'm not sure what else. Maybe the brush. We'll see. But definitely the sorrel roller. That's the one I think I want next out of them. Okay, next up is Paul Douglas. He says, hey, Ron, thanks for the tip on Headway G. It's been about a month, but the lawn has recovered nicely from the fungus. Aeration coming Monday, followed by top dressing a week later. Nice. Headway's a great product, guys. I mean, it's the big thing. I got a question from a viewer like saying, why Headway? Why do you like to recommend that particular fungicide? Is because for most people, one who've never either applied a fungicide before or are intimidated by using liquids, then Headway's a great option. It works, like you see, and Paul is getting good results with it. And you get, as far as fungicides that are very effective and labeled for use on residential turf, propiconazole and azoxystrobin, it's got both of those in one bag. So it's a great product. I mean, I've had awesome results with it. So I'm glad that your lawn is on the mend, Paul, and let me know if I can help with anything else. I will send good thoughts your way when you are top dressing. I'm going to be doing it tomorrow. Only 3 bags, though. Only 3 yards. So, shouldn't be too bad. All right, next up is Hailu T. He says, hello, Hailu. Thanks for coming to hang out in the live stream. Very appreciate it. Lavendy's in the house. He says, I have a pH of 5.5. Can I trust the Pennington lime bag where it says 12 pounds per 1,000 square feet? Does that seem low? It seems low to me. 5.5, I'd be going down at between 20 to 30 pounds per 1,000 square feet, Lavendy. So you can use the Pennington at the lower rate if you want. I mean, I'll tell you this much. 10 pounds per 1,000 is the minimum that I would do. But really, 20 to 30, given that you're in the mid 5s and you really want to make a movement on it, is what I would lean for. So I'd aim for that 20 or 30 pounds per 1,000, water it in really, really well afterwards, and then just wait. It's a waiting game after that point. If you have, I'm not sure where you're getting the Pennington lime, but if you have like one of the garden stores nearby, like I don't know, Ewing's or Site One, any of those places, they will have lime in bulk. They'll have it like in a 50-pound bag. The one thing I'll tell you is that they will carry both dolomitic and calcitic lime. So you have your soil test results. Before you go and figure out which lime you want to get, take a look at them and look at what your magnesium levels are at. If your magnesium is fine, like it's in the optimal zone, then go with a calcitic lime. If they are on the low side, then get a dolomitic lime, because dolomitic lime has a little bit more magnesium and it's going to help raise those levels as well too. So is it going to make a difference which one you choose in the big scheme of things? No. But if your soil also needs some magnesium, why not apply lime that has magnesium in it as well too? So definitely take a second look at your soil test results and then make your decision based on that. But if it were me, I would go out heavier than 12 pounds per 1,000 square feet with a pH of 5.5. Like that 12 pound rate, that's almost like a maintenance rate to me. If my pH is like normally in the mid 6s and it tends to trend lower over this course of the season, I might do something like that, like a 12, like that light of rate for something like that. But you're trying to correct it, so you need to go a bit heavier. Hope that helps. And if you have any other questions, let me know. All right, next up is Team Clark Track and Field. Says, what is the best spray tip to use when applying plant growth regulator? I'll be applying a new PGR to my turf type tall fescue. Thanks, Ron. The tip that I like most, I got it here. I just leave it on my desk now so that I don't have to run back and forth and remember to bring it in. The one that I like most is the foliar tip. This one right here. It's a 110-degree tip. So this guy I like. This one will work well for when applying like a liquid PGR. Alternatively, you can also use their air induction tip. It's not going to produce as fine a droplet size, but this can also work as well too. So either one of these, ideally you want to be spraying plant growth regulator or anything on your lawn when there's not much wind out, but there's any kind of breeze and you want to minimize drift, you can go with the air induction tip. That's going to work just fine too. But the most optimal tip, in my opinion, is the foliar tip. Is this one right here. And what I will do for you, Team Clark Track and Field, is I will put a link to the foliar tip in the chat, the one that I recommend, and that way you can pick it up. Let's see here, foliar tip, yay! It's in my history. Imagine that. It's almost like I've looked it up a time or two or 10 at Team Clark, and there you go. There's the foliar tip, and if you want the air induction tip, then this one here, then you can go with this guy. So you have both options. I'll just give you those two. You don't really need the flood jet because you didn't ask about soil-based applications, but that will work. Either of those tips will work for you. All right, great stuff. Next up is Robbie Marie says, what up? Happy Friday to Ron and the Lawn Fam. Thanks so much, Robbie. Thanks for coming to hang out. So Robbie, I got your pictures. It's so Robbie's, and I didn't get a chance to post them to bring them into the live stream. But next week I promise I will. If I didn't get a chance to write you back and say, hey, is it okay for me to show your pictures live? Which is why I didn't do it. And it was also right before the show. But Robbie is doing a major lawn renovation. Is putting in a major top dressing and lawn leveling project. Looks like they're trying to grow some St. Augustine, and it's growing really, really well. So I got to show you guys pictures of that. It's like a major project, and I will stay tuned for the live stream for next week so you guys can see how that works out. Guys, also remember tonight on the giveaway we are doing this. Good thing I have the bottle right here. Is a 2-pound jug of Advion Fire Ant Bait. Advion Fire Ant Bait. To be able to win. If you were in the live stream last week, you'd already know this, but to be able to win, you have to go to the video that I did on the recent video I did on Advion Fire Ant Bait, and enter a comment saying, like, give me my Advion, or can I have Advion, or I've used Advion. It has to have Advion in it, so that I know that you're someone that actually wants to be entered versus someone that's just commenting on the video in general. And because I am nice, I am going to post the link in the live stream for you guys. Just so you have a chance to enter in case you haven't as yet. So Advion video, and then just hang out in the live stream. I think probably we'll do it at maybe the 9 o'clock hour. So like another 90 minutes or so, we'll get it done. We'll see, maybe earlier, but you have to be in that video. You have to be in the comments of that video to be entered to win. All right, but yeah, Robbie, I got the pictures. They look awesome, and once I hear from you that it's okay to do that, I will show them off in the live stream next week if you're fine with it. All right, next up is RD. RD says, hey, can I aerate, Caravan G, and fertilize all at once? Also, if I do my backyard, how long do you think I have to wait before letting my chickens free range again? Or better to not do it do the back? That's a good question. So chickens eat everything. I mean, they literally eat everything. So I would not want you to go put out like fertilizer and Caravan and then have them go eat on it. You know what I mean? Because if you've ever seen what's like in a chicken, I don't know what you call it, like there's like a little pouch in their throat. You ever see what's in that? It's all kinds of trash, little rocks, all kinds of garbage is in there. To answer your question, can you aerate, apply Caravan G, and fertilize all on the same day, all at once? Yes, you can do that. The question about the chickens, though, I don't know, man. I just out of just be safe, I might not do the backyard if you're really worried about it, or if you can carve out apart an area of the backyard where the chickens are going to be, you can kind of warden them off from the other areas. Then that could work too. But just to be safe, and knowing that how chickens are, how they eat pretty much everything that's around, I might hold off on doing in the areas where they're going to be like doing their free range thing. RD, just to be safe. You know what I mean? Just to be safe, I would probably hold off on doing that. But as far as the rest of it, yeah, you can do them all at the same time if you want. You can do literally that sequence is how I would do it. I would aerate and then I'd apply any any soil-based products or fertilizer, at that time. Your Essential G, or if Caravan, if you're trying to treat for grubs, that kind of thing, and then fertilizer, great time to do it. All right, next up is Ben Raham. He says 5,500 square feet, tilling, raking, and seeding my Bermuda. Cross your fingers for me. I will cross them, Ben. You shouldn't have a problem with it as long as you've got a way to keep the soil moist so the grass has enough time to germinate. Then you should be just fine. I can't see any reason why that would not work right now. Would not work at all. Brick Rehab says it's pouring right now. Not here. It's not. Send some my way. I need it. It's not raining here. So yeah. All right, next up is Versus Creation. He says, I finally put my sticker up I got from your store, then use the sticker backing to check the cut on my reel. Seemed fitting. That's really cool, man. I appreciate that. So you got your sticker. So what he's talking about is if you, not all products that you order from the store, but if you order like Primo Max, which is the PGR, the plant growth regulator that we use, Acelloprin in liquid form, and in granular form, any of the fungicides or insecticides, if you order like the Celsius Certainty, anything that ships out of the local warehouse here, that you will get included one of these guys, one of these stickers, right? The golf course lawn store stickers. We used to have the black ones like these. These are now limited because there's only like 100 of these went out. Come on, autofocus. 100 of these went out, but now those have been gone, and now it's only these. And just for fun and kicks, I actually sent out 46 stickers. Not that it really means anything, but 46 stickers where I actually signed them and told the person that placed the order to thank you for the support. That's actually my signature, and that's the number. This is number 43, which I haven't put in anything as yet, but hopefully maybe one of you guys will get one of them. So anything you've ordered recently should have one of those in it. So we'll see. That doesn't really mean anything, but it's just if you care, there's like a few of those floating around out there. All right, next up is Thin Cut. He says, and actually I do, before I go to Thin Cut, I do approve of using the backing to check the sharpness of your reel, Rusty. May as well, right? Don't waste nothing. Make sure nothing goes to waste. All right, next up is Thin Cut. He says, so Ron, is this the time to redo the intro with your new Allett? I watched the unboxing and very jealous. All right, so guys, okay. I'll talk about the Allett again, but I don't want to make this all about the Allett show. I mean, it seems like a lot of you guys are interested in it, but yeah, I really like the mower. We'll just do the B-roll again while I talk about it. I really like it. I will tell you, the one thing I was really concerned about was battery life, right? So this guy takes 3 82-volt batteries, three of them. They are the commercial ones from Greenworks. And as far as runtime, I'll tell you, I was able to verticut twice, and then turf rake 3 times, the entire back lawn 3 times on a single charge, no problem at all. And that's pretty heavy on it. I mean, it's not like running, like when you're actually mowing, that it's like a lot less work on the machine than actually turf raking or verticutting is. So it's got plenty of juice easily for just one set of batteries to do the entire lawn without issue. No issues there. So one of my big concerns about it was, battery life is going to be, kind of people that buy hybrid cars or buy, hybrid cars, they worry about, or electric cars is probably a better way of saying it, because hybrids have gas engines. But electric cars is you worry about like range, you have like range anxiety. Same thing. I don't want to get out there and be, halfway through mowing and have to worry about the batteries running out, because that for the Sterling, that would have been a thing. I would have not been able to get through an entire mow with this Sterling. But with this guy, no problem at all. I mean, it's an absolute beast. The one thing is, it's a heavy piece of equipment. The one thing I can show you that's really cool about it. Let's see if I can show you here when it rolls around, so I can pause it real quick and show you. It has a feature, a button, which is really cool, that allows you to, I'll pause it right here. Okay, so you see the little green handle that's on the screen right now? That is like the throttle, like the actual speed of the drive system. But if you come around to like right, maybe you'll see it or not. Let's see, I'm not sure if it'll actually show up right. Well, no, I went over it. But there's a button, a little button that's on the handle of the mower. It's on the handle of the boat mower. You tap that, and literally it reduces the speed. It slowly ramps the speed down to like 60%, or just below. It does a 60% reduction. So for making whip turns, you can literally tap that. The mower slows down. You turn it, tap it, and it resumes the speed that you were going at. So it's they literally thought of everything when it comes to standpoint of like being able to just, throw batteries in this thing and just run it until the batteries go down. You don't need to stop and, can you imagine a piece of equipment like that having the throttle back, turn, throttle back up? No, you just tap a button, it slows itself down, you make your turn, tap the button again, it speeds right back up and continues on its merry way. It's a really sweet piece of equipment, and it should be, because it's what it costs. It's just it better do a lot of things right for what it costs. So we'll just say that. All right, next up is Ambrish Banzal. I think I'm saying this right. Maybe. Hopefully, if not, I apologize. He says, hey, Ron, it's difficult to find the right sand for top dressing. When I asked for screen sand at Home Depot, the guy looked at me like I had two heads. Any pointers on where to get the sand from? So the sand that they have at Home Depot is going to be, for the most part, is going to be screened. So there's the play sand, which I don't really recommend that you top dress with, but also there are the Quikrete bags. So it's like, Quikrete makes like the instant concrete, or the instant concrete just mixed with water and away you go. Don't get that. They also make like a paver sand that is more coarse. It's like a coarser sand that will work for top dressing. So yeah, if you go to them and you ask them for like screen sand, they're gonna be like, yeah, to your point, they're gonna look at you have like a third eye or something, right? But I think the Quikrete, they make a paver sand that can work for top dressing. I will tell you, that's an expensive way to go. If you're just going to top dress a small area, like you're just doing some small, spot leveling here and there, it's going to be fine. But if you're going to do your entire lawn, unless your lawn is like 1,000 square feet or less, it's really worthwhile to consider finding someone in your area, like one of these companies that deliver sand, like masonry sand, because it's going to be just a lot cheaper. It's going to be a lot cheaper. Now how screened that stuff is going to be, that could vary, right? But it's going to be a lot more cost effective. So it just depends on which way you want to go and how big of an area you are planning to level. So hopefully that helps. And again, just look for the Quikrete sand. It's going to be a more coarse sand, but the sand, not the instant concrete. Don't put instant concrete on your lawn. Make sure it's the sand. All right, next up is Ben Raham. He says the water bill will bring pain for sure. It will. That's the most expensive part about seeding a lawn. People think that, you go out and you buy Bermuda grass seed. Like when Arden 15 was still around, you could actually get it. A 25-pound bags was $425 thereabouts. It's expensive, but the seed is the cheap part compared to what the water is. Like the watering will be that much or more. I want to say my watering for the month when I did it last time was like $7 something in the 700. So it's really expensive, very expensive. So which is why I keep telling people, most people that seed their lawns, or if you're overseeding, you're more likely doing it for the wrong reasons. And if you're just trying to establish a lawn from scratch, it is easier and faster to use sod, because most people aren't going to have irrigation or aren't going to be willing to run it to the extent that you have to get a good result. So for sure, Ben, let me keep us posted on how it does. You are absolutely right on the water bill being one of the worst parts. You says, Lee Farmer says, is the true cut up for raffle? No, are you kidding? I can't. Here's the thing. There's still parts of my lawn that only the true cut can cut. Only the true cut can do. So there's a small area there between Alex and me, that swale area. I guess I could technically just use the rotary scissors to do it, but that's kind of a big area to do that with. But the true cut can cut that. And there's also an area that you guys never really see that is between myself and the neighbor. There's like a little ridge there, and the true cut is perfect for that. I don't put the Greensmaster on that. I'm definitely not going to put the Allett on that. There's no way, because literally it falls off. It's like literally a drop off. There's no way. There's no way I'd be able to save it if it begins to go, right? Whereas the True Cut is a little bit more maneuverable, a little lighter, so it's a better fit for that. I will tell you, I've only done one pass so far, one attempt, so you can't really take this for what as like the final verdict. But the Greensmaster is better on the slope than the Evolution. The Evolution is just so big that turning like 340 pounds and then taking it up the slope. I mean, it moving on the slope is no problem. Like it has no problem cutting on the slope. It moves up the slope fairly well. It's just the maneuverability of it, especially when you factor in all the mass and that you're doing this on a slope, kind of unnerving, right? So what may end up happening is the True Cut will cut the swale, the Evolution will cut the back lawn, and then the Greensmaster will be for the front lawn, right? So business up front, party in the back, right? That's what happened. So no Lee, I can't get rid of the True Cut. Can't happen. All right. LG said, did someone say giveaway? They did, but not on my mowers. All right. We have a question next about dogs. from Lawn Strool. He says, what do you recommend for repelling dogs? I have a couple pretty bad dog spots in my front yard. When it happened last year, nothing would grow in it for the entire season. What kind of grass do you have, Lawn Strool? Because if it's Bermuda, it should, I mean, a dog, burning the lawn from like urine, that's normally a 2 to 3 week affair before it recovers. But if you have like zoysia, yeah, it could take a lot longer to recover from it. As far as repelling them, I mean, are they dogs? Are they someone in the neighborhood that has dogs that's walking the dog on your lawn and that's happening? Because what the thing is, right? Dogs are sensitive to like peppers, spices, because they have a really strong sense of smell. So those types of things are things you can put down, but it's probably easier and better just to ask whoever is walking their dog by and is letting their dog, pee on your lawn, to not just ask them, do you mind please not doing that? Because you see all the spots, they're damaging the lawn. It's gonna take a long time to grow back. So can you please just have your dog not do that? So if you ask people and you explain why, most people that are reasonable will be considerate and not have their dog do their business on your lawn. But I mean, like cayenne pepper, any of those, anything with a strong odor like that will help. Especially peppers will, they don't like the smell of that because it's too strong for them. But to do that over your entire lawn, that's going to be a problem. Like the area where I've seen that done with success is around mailboxes. So if you don't want like the dog peeing near your mailbox, or like for boy dogs, you don't want them peeing like near light posts that are in your vanity strip area. Like doing that kind of thing around there will help them kind of stay away from it. But for your entire lawn, that's not really practical. So I would take the approach of just asking whoever's dog is doing it to say, hey, please, can you please not have your dog do their business in my lawn if you don't mind? That would be my recommendation. That'd be my recommendation. And if it's a dog that you have, you can train it to urinate in one spot. Like Alex has a dog, and she's really good about like torching. There's one little spot. It's like a 4-foot section of the lawn, 3 foot by 3 foot section of the lawn that is absolutely like scorched earth. Nothing will ever grow there. Like archaeologists will probably come by 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, and look and say, what happened here? Because grass never grows here, and it will be Stella's spot. So if it's your dog, train it to just go in one area versus letting it go everywhere. All right, next up is Black Poodle. He says, hey, Ron, I live in Washington State, Seattle area, and I was wondering if you have any tips on products I could use to get rid of my front lawn of weeds. Sure, so it depends on the kinds of weeds you're dealing with. Given that you are in Seattle, I imagine you have cool season grass, so like a rye, Kentucky bluegrass, a fescue, probably fescue. So a good product for that is Tenacity. There's a couple different products for weed control in cool season grass. Really, without knowing which weeds you're dealing with, it's hard to say exactly this guy's the best one for them to solve the problem. But Tenacity is a pretty, as far as like a broad spectrum herbicide that works fairly well on cool season lawns, that would be a good one. So what we can do is, if we go to, I'll show you where you can find it, go to the golf course lawn store and then go to the shop section and weed killer. And under here, if you scroll down, you will find mesotrione, which is the active ingredient that's in Tenacity. There's another product you could try too. There's also this. There's a 3-way that is also that's also safe for cool season grasses as well. That will work on your lawn. I mean, again, I'm assuming that you have like a rye or KBG. So read the labels. I have information in the descriptions for both of those telling you which grasses they're good for and which ones are not good for. But either this, the Triad Select, or Tenacity, either one of those for cool season grass are good. If you want to have a combination that works fairly well, it covers some sedge, gives you some sedge control as well too. So like nutsedge, green kalinga, purple. I think Sedgehammer also does purple nutsedge as well too. These two can be mixed together as well, right? Regardless of which one you use, if you decide to go with Tenacity, if you want to get better results, mix surfactant with it. Use a surfactant. So use this and this. This is not that expensive. Use surfactant along with the Tenacity to get a better result. And again, I'm answering this question assuming you have cool season turf, because I can't imagine you're growing like Bermuda or zoysia or anything like that in the Seattle area. You might be, but if you do happen to have a warm season lawn, then don't use Tenacity. Use Celsius and or Certainty. That's for warm season turf though. But for you being in the Seattle area, Tenacity and or Halo Select, this basically with the Sedgehammer are both good options. So hope that helps. It's really easier to answer that if I know exactly what weed you're dealing with, but Tenacity kills a lot of weeds. So that would be the one that I would suggest for what you're dealing with, assuming you have cool season grass, so like a rye, fescue, Kentucky bluegrass. All right, next up is Logan Brunner. He says, "You know when the Lebanon turf will be back in stock?" It's unlikely this season, Logan. I mean, there's a chance in late July, maybe in late July, but it's like the price of getting the stuff down here has to come down. Like the price of urea, I think it's up like 94%. Like the price of like the ingredients that go into it have gone up, and then the price of fuel has also gone up. So the Lebanon's in Pennsylvania, so trucking that down to Georgia there's expensive, right? And all that's to be factored into the cost of what it sells for. So like at current prices, the fertilizer would have to be priced at like $80 or thereabouts a bag, which is, in my opinion, like this is too much. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna give it some time and see if, in the future, not too distant future, hopefully it becomes available, or the price becomes more palatable. In the meantime, what you can use is Flagship. So this is a good product as well too. It doesn't contain the humic acid that's in Humic Max. However, if we go to lawn fertilizer, like this one here from Yardmaster 2406 Flagship is a good option. The nice thing about it is that if you're using the spoon feeding program, like where I use a combination of liquids and granular fertilizer, with Flagship, what you will do is you're not going to apply it at the 3 pound per thousand rate that the bag says. You're going to apply it at 2 pounds per thousand. So you're going to back it off just a little bit, back the rate off by a third. That's going to result in you putting down the same amount of nitrogen that you would if you were using Humic Max. So from a standpoint of nitrogen input in it on, it'll be exactly the same as if you're using Humic Max if you apply Flagship, this guy here, the blue bag, at 2 pounds per thousand. And at 2 pounds per thousand, it's going to go further, right? So a bag's going to last you that much longer. So for something you can use in the meantime, this is a good option, great option. It's a good fertilizer. It's got a bit of everything in it also, as far as like a complete set of micronutrient as well. So as far as while you're waiting for Humic Max to come back, get some Flagship, apply it 2 pounds per thousand. You'll have the same amount of nitrogen going into the lawn as you would Humic Max, and you'll be good to go. So appreciate the question, Logan, and the support, right? That you're interested in Humic Max. It's been a big success. All right, next up is Grace Ortiz. Says, "Hey, Ron, hope you're doing well." I am, Grace. It's been a fun week. New equipment came in, and having fun with that, getting it all set up, and realizing that it's just there's always another level, right? I thought the Greensmaster was the alpha and the omega of what it would mean for like turf care and creating an amazing lawn, and as I'm finding, there's yet another level. So you guys can be sure to subscribe and follow the content. You'll be able to see exactly what happens, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You guys know how I do it. All right, next up is Ben. He says, "Thanks for the stream, entertaining, informing us enthusiasts." That's the whole point, man. And it's fun to talk about turf grass, right, and issues that everyone's dealing with, but it's got to be fun too, right? If I just answer the questions in a very dry and boring way, some of you guys might still say it's boring, but it's no problem with making it a little bit more fun and entertaining. I mean, football season hasn't started yet, so I don't have to take a bunch of abuse from the Alabama boys as yet. So I may as well, bring the little bit of comedy to it that I can. All my dad jokes. All right, next up is Jonathan Daza. He says, "How many months does it take to see results when I'm using Carbon Pro G? I'm in Louisiana and I have tall fescue. Planning on putting it down during the summer months. Thanks." So I did an experiment with Carbon Pro G, not last season, but the season before that, Jonathan. And I saw a color response, an improvement in color in 3 weeks. And I will show you the video if I can actually find it. I think I've got the video that I can actually find on my channel if YouTube search helps me out. On the topic of that, guys, we got 130 people in here and only 63 likes. What's up with that? So while I look for this video for Jonathan, if you guys would not mind touching the like button, that would be very much appreciated. It didn't cost you guys anything. It's a great way to support the channel. That's absolutely free. Absolutely free. Let me see. What was the name of that video? I'm having trouble finding it, but it's in the 2021 series of videos, Jonathan. But the long short of your answer is 3 weeks is when you start seeing a result. Here's what I did. I can tell you exactly what I did to actually test out Carbon Pro G. Is I had an area of my lawn. So if you stand on the patio and look where the rocks are, if you know what my back lawn looks like, the right side, that's now fenced off, the right side that area is actually sloped a little bit, and when it rains, water runs off of there pretty quickly. So that was one of the areas that just naturally was dry or didn't get as much water as other parts of the lawn. So I did an experiment to see. Here we go. I did an experiment to see. I'm going to do nothing else. I'm not going to change anything else. I'm not going to water anymore. All I'm going to do is I'm going to put down Carbon Pro G really heavy on this section of the lawn, and let's see what happens. And 3 weeks later, because I found the video here, and I'll be able to show. I'll send it to you now. 3 weeks later, the color in that area was better than the rest of the lawn. So like not only did it like get better, not only did it get as good, it got better than areas that were getting the same amount of water. The only thing that changed was Carbon Pro G. So that made me a big believer in it. And the thing is to realize when it comes to granular carbon too, Jonathan, is that you're also in many ways playing the long game, right? So the benefits of Carbon Pro G is, yes, there is compost in it. But the biochar, the charged biochar is the thing you're really after, right? Because the compost will last for a while, but eventually that goes away. But the biochar sticks around, and that's what holds on to helps with nutrient availability for your grass. It helps with water retention and water availability for your grass. So it's in many ways, the more of the stuff you use, the better it's going to perform. The better results you're going to get with it. But I can send you this link right here to this video from a couple of years ago. Please excuse like the cinematography and everything because it looks horrible, because I was way worse at video then than I am now. But as far as seeing the results, watch that video and you can actually see what the results were. So figure 3 weeks, you start seeing a color difference. I mean, ask some of the other people in the live stream. Don't take my word for it. Ask Papa Mo's Lower. Ask some of the other people that have started using Carbon Pro G or Essential G, and ask them what they think about it. Right? You don't have to take my word for it, because it's a great product. I've literally applied not Carbon Pro G anymore, but Essential G on my lawn every month since the summer of 2020. So we're coming up on 2 years now of every month that going into the lawn. So hope that helps. Next up is Ben Gaines. He says, "Hey Ron, I put down my granular fert, Carbon Pro G yesterday, put down liquid fert, PGR, plant growth regulator, and the carbon kit this morning. Should I water tomorrow morning or wait till Sunday?" So let me get this straight. You did your granular, Carbon Pro G, liquid ferts, PGR, everything today. Yeah, you can water tomorrow. No worries, because what you're doing exactly what I would do. So what I tend to do, and this doesn't only apply to Ben's question, but it also will help other people as well too. The granular fert, right? Granular fertilizer, you have to water it, or you should water it to activate it, to get it down in the soil so it can begin being broken down and become available to the grass and make us get like awesome lawns, right? So it needs to get watered for that whole process to start. However, if you're applying a liquid fert, and depending on the kind of fert you're using, most liquid fertilizers, and certainly plant growth regulator like Primo Max, these are foliar absorbed, meaning that they need to get on the skin or the leaf of the plant for uptake. So what do we do whenever we decide, like Ben, we're your boss, and you want to do all of it in one day, right? So you can absolutely apply your granular fertilizer and then do all of your liquids. I would recommend waiting, at a minimum till the evening or later on in the day to water, but really the next day even better to do your watering. One day of the granular sitting on the lawn is not going to be a problem, and it's going to give your liquid products adequate time to be taken up. I mean, like the carbon kit, literally within a couple of hours, it's been absorbed by the plant. And plant growth regulator as well, Primo, I want to say it's 4 hours. I mean, you can check me on that, but it doesn't take it doesn't take very long for it to be taken up. But why not just give it a full day and then water the following day? So yes, Ben, you want to water tomorrow? Absolutely, go for it. No problem at all. 1 day is plenty of time. That's what I've been doing on my lawn since, I don't know, for forever, for a really long time. And it works really well. No problems with that at all. Next up is Rolex DSSD, who says, yo, and yo. What's up, Rolex? What kind of Rolex do you have, man? What do you have? What do you have, a Submariner, a Daytona? What kind of Rolex? You gotta let us know. All right, next up is Rich V. He says, "Hi, Ron. When applying granular hydratane and lawn leveling, which should you put down first? Thanks." Great question, Rich. So the way I recommend doing it is I like to think of the top dressing as like the icing on the cake. That's the best way to think about it. Think of your top dressing, your leveling mix, whatever you're doing, as like the icing on the cake. So fertilizer needs to get in the soil to work. Hydratane needs to get in the soil to work. Essential G, like granular biostimulants, need to get in the soil to work. So it makes sense that we would apply those first and then apply our top dressing on top of it to kind of lock it in. Help it. I mean, it's got to get past the top dressing anyway. So why not apply it first and then top dress on top of it. You know what I mean? Like a good example, tomorrow, whenever we aerate and top dress my buddy's lawn, I got a friend of mine that I do karate with. We're gonna go do like 3 yards of the super sod level mix on parts of his lawn. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to aerate, we're going to fertilize, and then finally we're going to top dress. So absolutely, if you're not, you didn't say you're going to aerate, but the sequence still applies. Any granular, any prill type products, apply that first and then top dress on top of it. That is what I recommend. And if you think about it, it makes sense, right? Like we can think of top dressing as soil, so we want to get past that for it to really for just to fast track the process. I thought I saw another super chat here that I need to go and get from Mr. RD. Let me get that real quick.
Super chat received.
He says, thanks for the answer. Have a great weekend. Have fun with the mower. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, RD. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the love and support. And you're very, very welcome about the answer to your question. All right. Next up is Brick Rehab. He says, I only had a few rocks, and unlike you, I'm not privileged enough to have super sod available to me. Yeah, I mean, it's not really a privilege. I just live in the area. I live where they carry it. I mean, it's what is it? South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, and Tennessee, and of course the great state of Georgia, right? So yeah, if you're one of those states, you can actually get it. And so yeah, Brick Rehab, it's a great product. I really like it. Really like it. Looks like we got Brazil in the house. Joe Dare Cooster, what's going on? Joe Dare, thanks for coming to hang out in the live stream. Appreciate it. Ogsan is back. He says, hey, Ron, went on vacation. You got a C27. You go. Congrats, sir. I look forward to the video showing the cuts. Yeah, man. So, I mean, you can already see it. There's already video. If you guys want to see how the evolution cuts, so I'll first of all show you the mower, Ogsan. I'm not sure how long you've been here, but I'll show it again. So this is the actual mower. This is the Bad Mama Jamma from Allett. Again, runs on 3 82-volt commercial batteries from Greenworks, which gives me plenty of runtime on a single charge to do the entire lawn. The mower is north of 300 pounds, and it lays stripes like nobody's business. If you want to see what it looks like on Alex's lawn, this is Alex's stripe action. This is just one pass today. This is like a verticut, a turf rake, and one mow. And then this is my lawn. Again, right now it's actually thinned out, so the colors are not that great. And you can still see how sweet them stripes are. That's pretty good. I'll take that. And again, this is the lawn really not looking that good because it's been thinned out so much from all the abuse and cultural practices is a better word of saying it that I've been putting the lawn through. Right. So I'm really excited about seeing how it does. I'm gonna put a little bit more time on it, and then the full review is gonna come where you guys will hear about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Everything that I like, things that I don't like, all that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you, the majority of things about it, I really do like. The only thing is really more so, it's left to be seen how it does on a slope. And given that this mower is really designed for football pitches, for football, it's designed for flat areas for the most part, or lightly sloped areas. I'm not surprised because my slope is pretty extreme. And I have to get better just using it, but I'm not going to be too hurt if it is not the best fit for my front slope lawn. That's fine. I got another more I can do with that. All right, next up is 2 Trilla. He says, happy Friday, everyone. Congrats on the C27. If anyone deserves that mower, it's you. Thanks for all you do. I really appreciate it, 2 Trilla. I really do appreciate it. Spent all my play money, so it was well worth it. It's an awesome bit of kit. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it does, and it's gonna make for some great content, right? You guys have been have asked about getting a battery-powered mower going electric. Now this is me tipping my toe in there a little bit. Plus, it gets me a verticutter, gets me a turf rake, gets me some of the tools that I want to have anyway, and I don't have to have 2 other separate pieces of equipment for this. And I'll have to tell you, I mean, it sounds really basic, but one of the biggest reasons, one of the selling points that I was really happy about is just having, it sounds basic, but having a basket on the front of it to where I'm able to verticut, and then I can take it off and dump the clippings into a refuse bin or something, right? I don't have to go and just verticut the entire lawn and then spend literally hours raking it and trying to get everything up. The fact that everything goes into that bin and just saves me time is pretty cool. So really like that about it. And again, subscribe to the channel, watch the YouTube stories. That's going to be a great way to see a lot of the uncut behind the scenes of what happens with the mower. So great stuff. All right, next up we have, let me get down here, a super chat from Mr. LG. LG, thanks so much, LG.
Super chat received.
He says, 7 p.m. SIP Central Time. Your new mower makes me sick and jealous. Yes, I'm player hating if people still say that. you're dating yourself by saying play hating, right? But I'll let you have it, and I'll even put on some Tango Bolero for you while I take a sip of my water. And I ask you guys while I go and find the next question, if you guys, the 140 or so of you that are in here right now watching, if you guys wouldn't mind touching that like button ever so gently, I'd really appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's a great way to support the channel, and it gives me time to take a sip of my drink here while I get back up and follow the next question. Num num. It's good stuff. And LG, you are now the new show sponsor. I got to get it changed over. So let's get that done. All right, so let's see if I can multitask here. So next up we have SA Town holding it down. So I guess Mr. San Antonio says, happy Friday, Ron. With the drought and water restrictions, Hydrotane has kept the lawn afloat. At what point should I back off fertilizing? Worried it'll be counterproductive without irrigation and rain. So here's the thing with me, SA Town holding it down. I don't really reduce my fertilizer. I don't change my fertilization program throughout the entire season. But I say that because I'm also able to get out there and mow the lawn enough and keep up with it. And I use tools like plant growth reg, growth reg to keep the lawn in check. As far as backing off fertilizing, it's really your call. If you're not able to keep up with the mowing, you got a choice. You can either reduce the amount of fertilizer you're putting in the lawn, which I'm really not a fan of because you really still want to feed the lawn, or raise your height of cut. So, you mow less frequently and just allow the lawn to get a little bit taller. That is what I would, as much as it pains me, I would lean more towards that than not feeding the turf. I would let it grow taller than try and take nutrients away. That would be my thing. And as far as Hydrotane, you didn't ask about that, but I would continue using that. The label calls for, it says one application can last for up to 3 months. I typically apply it every 6 to 8 weeks. That's just my cadence because it works so well. I don't want to really lose the effect of it, of the little cushion that it gives you, especially this time of year. Now we're not getting very much rain in Georgia. I'm not sure where you're in San Antonio. You guys are probably aren't getting rain either. Like having that in the lawn and the soil is also really helpful too. So you're talking about fertilizer, but don't neglect using Hydrotane as well. Great product. Again, I'm super happy that I came across it last year and started using it. It's a really good product. But just to answer your question, I don't stop fertilizing whenever summer months roll around. I just make sure, if anything, I pick up my mowing frequency. I don't feed it less. I just mow more. All right, next up is Jerowal 82, where he says, I ordered 4 bags of the soil-free Soil Cube leveling mix, waiting for delivery. Excited and nervous at the same time. Don't be nervous, man. There's not a whole lot to it. If you've seen my video on top dressing, you know what the process is, what it looks like, and it's the long short of it is, don't go too heavy. If you can, aerate before, because I think it helps the leveling mix integrate with your existing soil. And just once you're done, get out there with a rake once a day and just drag it over the lawn to help settle the material. And away you go. Away you go. There's not a ton to it. For any of you guys that don't know what Jeremiah Wall is talking about, he's referring to the Soil Cube leveling mix that I've used now twice, last year and again this year, for my lawn leveling projects. If you want to save a little bit of money on it, I think it's like $10 off a bag, which is still something. There is a discount. There's a discount code or discount link rather that you can use that will save you a little bit of money. It doesn't cost you any more. It's a way to support the channel if you feel like doing so. But it's a great product. I would not recommend it to you guys if I really didn't like it. It's the best thing about the Super Sod leveling mix is that it just saves you time. It's a quality product, obviously. Like it's really good sand, really good compost that goes in it. But the big thing is you're just not going to spend time picking trash up because there's not really any in it, right? So that is a way to save on it. And then for you, Jeremiah Wall, if you want a video on top dressing, you can look at my video from last year, which shows it's like a video I spent a lot of time on covering all the stuff that I think that someone should know when it comes to leveling a lawn. You can just skip the latter part of it where I talk about seeding, because I was also doing a seeding project last year too, so you don't need to watch that part of it. But as far as the top dressing sequence and everything that goes into that, watch this. This will get you on the right track. So at Jeremal, and that video there, that video is the top grossing video. So watch that. It's 12, 13 minutes of good, clean fun, and it'll get you everything that you need to know to get a good result. Make sure you get a good leveling rake and go to town. It's not that complicated. Okay, next is Logan Brunner. He says, I got my Yard Mastery sprayer a couple of days ago. I can't wait to put it to use. Very nice, Logan. Very good. Congrats on the sprayer. You know, we normally only do claps for mowers, but, you know, in your case, make the exception. In your case, we'll make the exception just for this, just this once. The one thing I'll tell you, you got your sprayer. The next thing I want you to do before you use it, before you go and you take the sprayer out and, you know, load it up with like Primo Max and, you know, the Golf Force Lawn Carbon Kit and fertilizer and get ready to have a grand old time, is I want you to take like 5 minutes, maybe 10 if you're super, super slow, and calibrate the sprayer. Calibrate your sprayer. So know exactly what kind of walking pace you need to have so that you are going to get a good result. And it just so happens that I have a piece of content that will show you exactly how to do that, or how I recommend doing it. There's multiple ways of doing it, but this is the way I do it. There's a sprayer calibration video. So watch that, follow that, go through that process, get it all figured out for the spray tip you plan to use, and then go spray your lawn with whatever you decide to spray with. Congrats again. It's an awesome, awesome piece of equipment. All right, next up is Archie Amos. He says, the tips look like TJ, but they're not labeled as such. Brass, quick connect as well. Yes, 5 PSI settings. Yeah, so then maybe it's a knockoff, a T-Jet knockoff. Oh man, I'm not gonna be able to get that, fell off. Maybe it's a T-Jet knockoff tip, but I mean, it should work just fine, Archie. Should work okay. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Big thing is the same advice I just gave Logan, is to calibrate your sprayer. Take a few minutes and calibrate your sprayer to make sure that you are, you know, you're putting down whatever dilution rate you like to use. I like 1 gallon over 1,000 square feet. Not strictly necessary. You can go more concentrated than that, but it's a rate that's nice and safe. And for people that are getting into the spraying liquids on their lawn, gives you a little bit of headroom so you don't torch your lawn if you go a little bit too heavy in one spot. So good stuff. Next up is Deke Deegan. It says, hey Ron, my lawn is overrun with Dallas grass. That is no fun. Dallas grass is not nice. I faithfully applied pre-emergent in the fall and spring, but Dallas grass came back this year. Any suggestions? Yeah, man. So Dallas grass is really difficult to get rid of. You didn't say what kind of grass you have. I'm assuming you have Bermuda, you're in a warm season area, like you're in my area. So there are herbicides you can use to help suppress Dallas grass or to knock it back, right? As far as like where you are now, you can use Certainty will knock back Dallas grass. It'll injure it. Tribute Total, a product from Bayer called Tribute Total, which is Celsius, Revolver, and one other. I forget what the third one is, but there's like 3 herbicides in one. That will also injure Dallas grass, but really the way to get rid of Dallas grass is to dig it out, is to physically remove it, which I know is a colossal pain, but that's the way you're going to get rid of it, because there's not really, at least not that I'm aware of anyway, any herbicides that are labeled for use on residential lawns that will kill Dallas grass, that are non-selective anyway. You can go after it with like glyphosate, obviously, with like Roundup, but that's going to damage it and any grass that's around it. If we're talking about from a selective standpoint, there's not really anything that you're supposed to be spraying on residential lawns anyway that will injure or kill Dallas grass. So Certainty is definitely an option. I mean, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. If you go to the Golf Force Lawn Store, the easy way to find it is just to go home and then just scroll down here to Weed Killer. You can click on the link or the picture, either one. And then this Certainty, this herbicide will injure Dallas grass. It's not going to kill it, but it will knock it back, and you know you're gonna give it a pretty rough time. So if you want to, if it's overrun, you want to injure it, and start mowing your lawn regularly to where you can allow the Bermuda, whatever grass you happen to have, to begin filling in and doing taking over more. Then that's a strategy. But really, the way to get rid of it is to remove it, like physically remove it. So. Hope that helps. I don't want to send you down a path of like, trying all kinds of different things. I just want to I always set your expectations. Certainty will work. It will injure it, but it's not going to get rid of it. The way to get rid of it is to dig it out, to remove it. All right. Next is VMH. I think we already covered this one. VMH, you said you sprayed Dimension back in March, thinking that if I were to till the soil down to 6 inches, it would possibly mess up the barrier, but it didn't. They're still effective. All Bermuda seeds I put in die. So this is a good point, guys. So even though VMH, he stated the comment that he did earlier in a different way, a lot of you guys really get hung up, get wrapped around the axle about, if I apply pre-emergent, if I aerate my lawn, I'm going to have this big outbreak of weeds. If I apply pre-emergent and, if I do anything that disturbs the soil, I'm going to have this big weed problem in my lawn. Now, in theory, yes, you ideally would want to apply pre-emergent and then not go aerate your lawn, not do anything that really disturbs the soil. But in practice, it typically doesn't really matter. Like I have literally, my lawn has gotten pre-emergent every year in like the early, like last couple of years has been like February, March timeframe. And like every year it's gotten aerated at least one time after that, and it's got top dress after. In other words, it's had things done to it that would definitely disturb that barrier. And I don't have weed problems in my lawn. I don't have like a big outbreak of weeds from doing that. And then VMH is kind of showing here. I mean, I don't know if he intends to do this, but it's a cool experiment where he applied dimension back in March. He went down. He actually tilled it, so went down 6 inches tilling it, which is pretty aggressive. Thinking, okay, that's going to be enough of it. I'm going to break the barrier, and my grass is now going to grow. I'm going to from seed, and that's not the case, right? They germinated and then they died off. So which shows that he's still got some residual effects from pre-emergent still in his soil. So apply pre-emergent, but don't don't let the fact that you applied pre-emergent prevent you from aerating your lawn or any other culture practices that you want to do to help keep your lawn healthy. It's in most cases it's not going to be that big of a deal as far as keeping weeds out of your lawn if you do those things. I've not found it to be the case. VMH hasn't. Alex hasn't. I mean, it's not just me and Alex and apparently VMH, but also a lot of my other friends in this area that do the same thing, follow a similar kind of program. They aerate their lawns in April, May timeframe, well after pre-emergent's been applied, and they don't have huge weed outbreaks in their lawns. So just something to keep in mind, because I know it's a topic that often gets talked about that, hey, if I apply pre-emergent, I can't do anything. The lawn must be sacred. I cannot disturb it whatsoever. And that just really isn't the case. All right, next up is Mark Baker. He says, happy Friday. What's going on, Mark? Thanks for coming to hang out in the live stream. And then we have Higgy Pop saying, hey, Ron, happy Friday. Let's hit the like button. Let's do that, guys. If you guys wouldn't mind, we got 153 people in here right now. If you guys would not mind hitting the like button ever so gently or smash it, whatever you want to do, I'd appreciate that. It's a free way for you guys to support the channel. So if you guys would not mind doing that, I would highly, highly appreciate it. Next up, Jeremel Wall 82 says, is it a good idea to put down Milorganite before leveling the lawn? Yes. It's a good idea to put down any kind of fertilizer that you happen to be using on your lawn prior to leveling. Because here's the thing, guys. Whenever you level your lawn, it is a bit stressful to the grass, right? One, if you aerate it, that's a stressor. But even also the fact that you're covering some of the plant in sand, and then you're also taking this big heavy leveling rake, and you're basically working and running all over it the entire time, you're just beating it up a bit. It is a stressor. So adding a little bit of nitrogen is not a bad idea in anticipation of a top dressing project. So yeah, to answer your question, Jeremel, I don't know why I can't say your name, Jeremel Wall. Yes, I would. Get your Milorganite down, then top dress on top of it. No worries at all with doing that. I might not actually use Milo though. I might use something. I mean, if the goal is to help the lawn bounce back sooner, I would probably go with something that releases a little bit faster than Milorganite does. Something like Flagship or any other, fast release, quick release fertilizer you can get your hands on. That is something that I would do. Especially if you're doing this the day of. If you can do the Milo like a week prior, okay. But if you're doing it the day of and you're really trying to get the lawn to come back quickly, then something that's a faster release like Flagship or whatever quick release fertilizer you like to use, that it would be my recommendation. But at either rate, the answer doesn't change. Yes, you can do it before top dressing. Is here and says, if you have bare spots, should you still cut it short? I do. I had a couple of bare spots in my lawn. You can't really see them now because they're starting to grow in, but I had a couple of bare spots from like spring dead spot from some fungus damage, and I still cut my lawn, not crazy short, but it gets mowed at the same height as the rest of the lawn. So yes, I mean, it's, in other words, cutting the lawn short. It's hard to say your name because it's cutting the lawn short. I'm just going to call you H. Cutting the lawn short, H. If you're doing it properly, where you're mowing regularly, like a couple times a week at least, that's going to help stimulate growth. It's going to help stimulate activity, which is going to help the lawn, help bare spots fill in. So whether you're mowing the lawn tall or mowing the lawn short, the big thing that will help the lawn, help bare spots fill in is, I mean, in addition to getting enough nutrients and water, obviously enough sunlight, is mowing. Regular mowing is going to help speed that process along. It doesn't really matter if it's tall grass or short grass. Regular mowing is going to help with that process. So hope that helps. How short you mow your lawn is really based on really based on how much time you have. Whenever people ask you this question, how sure should I be mowing? It's really how much time do you have to mow your lawn? What kind of mower do you have? And do you enjoy using it? Do you enjoy being out there in the lawn mowing? And if you don't, then don't cut your lawn really short, because that's what it takes. It takes that level of commitment to have a great looking lawn mowed short. If you don't like mowing a lot, mow it at 2 inches or something. That would be my recommendation. Okay, so next up we have another live stream, another super chat from LG, where he says,
Super chat received.
got to run to dinner, but I had to ask a question. pH is 7.3. Just received Magical for alkaline from you. What are the realistic results after one season? Depends. It depends, LG. The only way to really know is to if I guess one question, if you before you leave for dinner, if your soil is usually like where your pH normally is when you measure, is it normally in the low sevens? If that's where it likes to sit, if that's where like the buffer pH is for your soil, then it's probably going to be a longer process to help lower it. Here's the thing though, the Magical, the alkaline product, will help with that. An elemental sulfate will also help with lowering pH. Citric acid will help with lowering pH. And also a lot of the salts that are in a lot of the fertilizers that we apply also have an acidifying effect on the soil to help lower pH. To answer your question, you should see a movement. You should see some movement the next time you test. If you were to do another soil test 3 or 4 months from now, I would expect to see some movement. How much that's going to be, it's hard to say. Every soil is different, man. I can't tell you it's going to be, a quarter. It's going to be a tenth of a point or a quarter of a point or whatever it is. It's just impossible to answer without soil testing. So sorry I don't have a better answer for you, but I wanted to get your super chat before you ran off to dinner. So if anything, you know how to reach me. You can email me or whatever else, and we can chop it up some more if you have any more other questions. Have a good time at dinner, sir. I appreciate you coming in to support the live stream. Really do appreciate it. All right, next up is Rich V. He says, hi, Ron. I have a rock on the perimeter of my lawn, too big to move without a crane, but only a few inches above the grass. Okay, how many inches of soil should I put over the rock to grow grass on it? Part 1. Part 2, any other tips for growing grass over rocks? New Hampshire perennial rye. Tips for growing grass over rocks? Don't do it. Here's the thing, Rich. I would want, because with what I try to do in my lawn care program and with everything that's in the academy and with the biostimulants, I'm trying to drive really deep roots. Like 8 inches, 10 inches or more. So if you can put 10 inches or a foot of soil over the rocks, then you could try growing grass on it. But what I might do is this: if it's too big to move, what you might do is do compromise, right? If you can get out there with like a Hilti gun or like one of those reciprocating hammers, if you can break off a lot of it, like break off, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 inches beneath the soil surface, and then build that up, and that could be an option. I mean, the best thing is really going to be to remove it, right? But you're going to want at least minimum like 6 inches. Minimum 6 inches to have any chance of growing decent grass. And here's the thing you're going to find is the grass that grows over the rocks is more than likely going to be thinner than in the other areas. Because really you want 10 to 12 inches. You want a lot. If you're trying to really drive deeper roots, you really want a good soil profile. And just 6 inches is the bare minimum for the grass to grow. But it's not gonna look. You're gonna be able to tell there's something up with that area. This is what I'm trying to say. So I know probably not the answer you want, but if it were me, if it's possible, one or two things: either break up the rock some, like remove some of the rock, like I'm saying, or just keep the rock as an ornamental, like a decoration, and just don't try and grow grass there. You know what I mean? It's just it's gonna be tough to do that without doing a lot of work. So hope that helps. If you have any other questions, let me know. All right. Hi, Kevin D. Jones up next. He says, hi, Ron. I meant selling Allets on your store. You got this. I will patiently wait. Oh, I doubt it, man. I'm not going to be an Allett dealer. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know how many Allett dealers there are in the country. I think someone, I know Roland is in South Carolina. There probably are a few others throughout the country, but not at this point. Not because then that's an entire another set of logistics as far as getting mowers in, making sure they get in, making sure nothing gets damaged. You ship them out and it gets damaged, taking them back. There's a lot. There's a lot. As soon as you start dealing with equipment, like especially mechanical stuff or stuff that actually moves, that's a whole different set of problems you have to deal with. I have enough problems with like getting FedEx and the other carriers to deliver liquid products without like spiking them or playing football with them. So mowers, I'm not saying it can never happen, but it's not in the immediate future. Kevin. So if you want an Allett, I would go and just go get one. Like get on the list. If you want a Sterling, and now you definitely got to get on the list because it's a long wait from what I understand to get one of those guys. Sweet mower, but it's gonna be a while to get one if you want one. All right, next up is Motivated Moments. Says, evening, Brother Ron, Coach J, a true lawn loco. I'll take it. I'm not sure what you mean by Coach J, but Coach J, maybe okay, next door. Maybe next door. Cool, man. Well, thanks for coming to hang out. I think if you are the person I think you are, but I appreciate you coming in the live stream to say hey, and thanks for the support. All right, Jason, he says, has a question. He says, when is the next best time to water the lawn? Jason, if you ask this question, you'll get various answers on it. Some people will say you should water the lawn in the evening. Some people say you should water the lawn in the morning. Some people say it doesn't really matter when you water the lawn. Here's when I like to do it. I like to run my irrigation starting at 4 a.m. till 5:30 to 6 a.m. So I like to get the water, the bulk of the water down before the sun comes out because it allows two things. At night in general, the wind tends to be lower, breeze tends to be lower, so the water isn't getting blown all over the place when the irrigation is running. So that's thing one. But also it allows the water that I put down to soak down into the soil before the sun comes out and evaporates it. So if you water your lawn in the middle of the day, is it going to damage the lawn? Pretty unlikely. I mean, there's people who say that if you water the lawn in the middle of the day, you can burn the grass. And I mean, I guess technically, if the sun is aligned just right, that the water can act like a prism and can burn the lawn. But I've personally never seen that happen. But the big reason to not water in the middle of the day is that you're going to lose a lot of the water to evaporation. Like water is expensive, and it makes sense to put it down at a time when it's going to get down in the soil where it can do the most good. So. Some people water in the evening. I am more a fan of watering in the early hours of the morning. So like 4 a.m., any time between 3 a.m. and forward, that's a good time to water, depending on how long it takes your irrigation system to put down the amount of water that you want to put on the lawn. So I'm a fan of early morning watering. But again, this is almost like a religious question, like asking someone which fertilizer is best, right? If you ask a bunch of people, you'll get different answers. But hopefully the theory, or like my logic behind why I think early in the morning makes a lot of sense is, will resonate with you and you'll give it a shot. So hope that helps. Next up is who is JM? Who is JM says, just moved into a place in the Pacific Northwest. I think that's what PNW is. Pacific Northwest with multicolored lawn of various species with clear areas seeded with Kentucky bluegrass, some fescues, etc. Any advice on how to best unify the lawn to one color? It's going to be kind of difficult. Who is JM? Because here's the problem. Fescue likes being mowed a bit taller, right? So if you mowed it shorter, that is going to, and what do you have, KBG? The KBG will tolerate being mowed shorter than the fescue will. So, over time you could make the argument that the KBG could spread more and could eventually become the dominant grass in your lawn. I haven't seen the lawn, I haven't seen the pictures to know how bad it is or how spread out we're talking about. But taking that approach is like multiple years. It's like 3, 4, 5 years, depending on how much of the grass you don't want happens to be there. If it really bugs you that much, where you absolutely hate it, and is making you lose sleep over it, it's the fastest way is going to be to do a renovation, like burn the existing lawn down, like just kill off the existing lawn and then start over. And that's kind of a painful way to go. But if you absolutely cannot tolerate having different types of grass, like the look of it's just irritating you to no end, and you want to change quickly, that's going to be the fastest way. The one thing I will say is this, right? Like, sounds like you just moved in, you said, right? So before you go and take that approach, start just mowing the lawn regularly. You pick a height of cut that you like and just start mowing the lawn regularly and see how it looks. You might find that, yes, I mean, fescue and ryegrass look completely different and bluegrass look completely different. So I get that. They're never going to look exactly the same. But what you might find is if you start mowing it regularly and, the grass is all at the same even height and it all looks, it looks like it's cut, then it might not bother you as much. And especially from a distance, you may not really notice that it's, that it's different types of grass all woven in together. But if you're a person that's really super picky about like colors and textures and just that kind of thing, then the fastest way is going to be to do a renovation. If you want to take the slow approach, the Kentucky bluegrass, KBG can generally tolerate being cut shorter than fescue can. So if you're able to mow the lawn shorter, whether it be with a real mower or a rotary mower, like an inch and a half or so, depending on the type of ryegrass KBG you have, that is going to put the KBG at a competitive advantage and the fescue at a disadvantage. But again, this is a multi-year process to try and have the KBG slowly spread and take over the fescue. It's just it depends on you. The answer depends on you, how badly you want it to match and how quickly you want it to match. And based on the way you're asking the question, I think a renovation this fall is more than likely what you're going to be doing. All right, Logan Brunner says, do you see any differences between T-Nex and Primo Max? Difference between T-Nex and Primo Max. As far as the bronzing, the tip burn has been less with Primo. The tip burn that I've seen with Primo compared to what I've gotten with T-Nex in years past has been different. But I mean, I don't know if that's really a fair comparison, Logan, because remember with Primo, I'm also applying it differently this year than I have in years past. Like if you guys know that normally I was, in years past, I was doing T-Nex at, full rate for my lawn once a month. What I'm doing with Primo is half rate every couple of weeks because I do a spoon feeding program on my lawn where I apply liquids at the beginning of the month and again at the 15th of the month. Since I'm out there anyway, it doesn't take any time at all to put a bit of Primo in the tank and spray it along with like the Miramichi Green Carbon kit and the fertilizer that I'm putting down. So it literally takes me no more time to do that. And I really like the results I've been getting with it because there's been practically no discoloration, no tip burn whatsoever. And the lawn is staying in regulation really well. You know what I mean? So there's been a lot of benefits to it, no negatives to it. I have asked, I have asked a question to Syngenta about the differences between T-Nex and Primo, and they have said, yeah, the active ingredient is the same, right? Trinexapac ethyl is the same, but the carriers, right? The carriers are different. In other words, with the carriers that are in Primo and the carriers in T-Nex are different. So does that really make a difference in the results you get? It's up to you to really test. I guess I really wouldn't know unless if I took some Primo and I took a portion of my lawn, I did part of the back lawn with Primo and a part of the back lawn with T-Nex. I guess that would be a way for me to tell. But I got to tell you, man, there's no going back for me for this reason alone. For the fact that, here's the thing, I would not have thought that a measuring cup on the bottle really would be that awesome. But you have no idea how much time this saves. Like literally, if I'm gonna go, like again, I've done my carbon kit, I've got all that stuff applied to the soil, right? I got this cap, I'm trying to make a mess here. And literally, time to put my Primo in. All it takes is a nice push and there you go, right? And now I've got my Primo measured out, dump it into the tank, and away I go. It's super easy to measure. So given the size and that this is built in, I'm just not going to go back. There's no reason for me to go back to T-Nex. So either one will work, but I like Primo. And for most home lawns, or most residential lawns, one bottle of this is enough for a season if you have a smaller warm season lawn. If you have a cool season lawn, you're going to need probably multiple bottles, in which case then maybe T-Nex makes more sense. But for a warm season lawn, an average size lawn, a single bottle of Primo is gonna serve you really well. And again, we carry it on the golf course lawn store. I can show you really quick. Logan, you probably already know this, but why not? So if you go to the store and you can either use our search function or just simply go to lawn fertilizer. I could have thought of a better place to put it, but I figured fertilizer, why not put it there, right? So go to fertilizer section and then scroll down and Primo is right there on the second shelf. That's where it is. You can pick that up. And the cool thing with getting Primo from us is that you get a golf course lawn sticker with every purchase. I got to change it up. Once this batch of stickers runs out, I'm going to change these to something different. So every time I'm going to go a different color, maybe a different design. So if you care about stickers, you're not getting the same one over and over and over and over. So there you go, Logan. Hope that helps. And if you have any other questions, let me know. All right, next up is a question from Austin B. He says, how comparable is the C27 in terms of sound to the Sterling? I'm considering canceling the Sterling in December. I ordered in December and switching to the C27. I mean, they're both quiet. The C27 is just it's dead nuts quiet, man. I mean, especially with the so if you're using one of the cultivation cartridges like the Verticutter or the turf rake, it's a bit louder because just the act of what you're doing is louder. Literally, when you're running the cutting cartridge, like the 8-blade reel, like the only sound you really hear is the grass being cut. You just hear like the I don't know, like the high pitch, not really high pitch, but the pitch of that scissor action of the reel cutting the grass. That is the dominant sound. Like the mower propelling itself, you don't really hear that. What you hear is the grass being cut. So it's incredibly quiet. It's by far the quietest mower that I've ever used. And I want to say that Allett says it is the quietest mower they make. So I'm not sure if that counts for the Sterling. I mean, they're probably comparable as far as sound goes, Austin. But I'd say for C27, the differences, the benefits of the C27 are for me, run time. So if you have a larger lawn, the C27 is you're going to be able to go through the entire lawn. You're going to be able to turf rake and mow on a single charge. You're going to be able to do multiple things on a single charge, right? So that's one benefit. The stripes that the C27 is going to do, or we're going to put down, are going to be, I can actually show you the stripes when I talk about this. The stripes the C27 is going to put down are going to be better than what the Sterling is going to do. Not because the Sterling is inferior, but simply because of just the mere fact of the weight, right? The mere weight of the mower. Like what you're seeing here is a lawn that is not even looking really good right now. That's been thinned out. It's been beat up a lot. And the stripes that it lays are like nothing else that I've ever used before, by far. And I'm only I'm 4 days in, right? So it just depends on you. I mean, obviously there's a huge price point difference between the Sterling and the C27. But if in other words, if you're asking me, if you have the budget to choose between a C27 and a Sterling, and your lawn is such that, especially you want wider stripes and you like a mower of that size to where it makes a better fit for a larger lawn, then all day long. In other words, the only scenario I could see myself buying a Sterling over a C27, again, if money's no object, I could buy either one of them, doesn't really matter. If that were the case, the Sterling I would opt for if I had a smaller lawn, right? If you have like a lawn that's, I don't know, sub 5,000 square feet or less, Sterling's great because in that situation, you could turf rake and likely mow the lawn on a single charge and you're good to go. Once you get into a lawn my size where you're getting into the back lawn alone is like 9,000 square feet thereabouts. And if you want to do multiple things, like you want to turf rake or verticut and then go mow, do a cleanup cut and not have to charge the mower every time, the C27 is just it does that. I mean, I've tested, I've done it on my lawn. I ran it until the battery said L, till it was low, and it's got more than enough juice for what most people are going to do on their lawns, right? So it's your call. The C27 is more solid. It's more solidly built, but again, you're talking about a mower that's over twice the price of a Sterling, so it should be. So it's not, again, comparing the two of them is really not fair. We're doing a comparison here, Austin, but it's really not fair to compare the two because you're talking about a mower that's one is like considered to be, as far as electric mowers go, like the ultimate as far as what Allett bills for a homeowner, for the lawn enthusiast, like to say, for a homeowner lawn. And the C27 is a commercial mower, meaning it's designed to run like every day, hours and hours, every single day on sports fields and to not break a sweat when doing it. So it's just two different classes. It's like comparing a true cut to a greens mower. Two different classes of equipment for what they're designed to do and how they do what they do. So either one is going to be awesome, but the C27 is going to be better from a standpoint of stripe action, run time, and everything else. The only one negative is just weight and storage. You got to have a bigger place to store it because it's bigger. All right, next up is King Khan. He says, what's up, good lawn brothers? Not too much, man. We're doing well. We're getting close to giveaway time, guys. Getting close to giveaway time. Hopefully you guys have gone to the Aeration video and put your bid in to have a chance at winning a 2-pound tub of Aeration fire ant bait. I love this stuff, man. I learned about it in 2018. I think it was one of my first video I did on this product. Excellent product for keeping ants out of your lawn. Really, 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 really great stuff. So whoever gets this, you're gonna have enough for this season and likely next season because a little bit goes a long way. All right, next up is Kevin Grimes. Kevin says, first time here in Atlanta, airport area, 16,000 square feet of Bermuda that was in bad shape. Just backpack sprayed a mix of 2,4-D, conchloric, 75 DF a week ago. 2 4. I'm not sure you said that is. Today I dropped. I'm not sure what else you're saying. So I'm not sure what the question is, but it sounds like you are taking back the lawn from a weed problem, Kevin. So yeah. I mean, it sounds like that's what you're doing. You're trying to target some crabgrass, some broadleafs, a bit of everything, and just keep us posted on how it goes. So I appreciate you coming into the live stream and posting up. And I guess you had a question. It doesn't look like you had a question there, but yeah, as far as knocking weeds back in a Bermuda lawn, sounds like you are on the right track, sir. Next up is Mr. Donnell Burrell. He says, "Hey Ron, congrats on the new illustrious C27. Welcome to the Allett family. How late in the season can I do an aeration and top dress? Can't stay for long. Got to get my cut in before it gets dark." Okay, so Donnell, really, whenever the grass is actively growing, right? So I would be fine with aerating as late as late July and top dressing as late as late July. If you are where I am in Georgia, right? Because really late July, we've got still the entire month of August for the lawn to recover and still be growing and doing its thing. So it depends on where you are. But yeah, you can go later on into the season, into the summer. Now is obviously a great time. But if you can't get it done until later in June or later next month, crazy to think that July is already next month, right? Later next month, you're going to be just fine with that. So I always say that you could get normally three top dresses in a season, for warm season grass anyway. For cool season, you might be able to get more than that, but for warm season, at least two. So you can do one in early May, one in June, and then one, if you still are glut for punishment, you can do one in late July, early August. So typically, you will run out of the desire to top dress your lawn, then your ability to top dress your lawn exhausts itself, if that makes sense. So yeah, late July, early August, and you should still be good to go. And yeah, I love the C27. Watch the YouTube stories. You're going to see a lot of behind the scenes footage on that as far as that goes. So if you want to see just my off the cuff stuff, then that's what you should subscribe to the channel, and that's a great way to see a lot of it. Okay, Hanif Omar says, "How do I remove Japanese stilt grass from my lawn?" Ooh, man, physically. I think that's another one you have to physically remove. I'm not even sure if glyphosate will really kill that one off. It might, but there's not, to my knowledge, Hanif, there is not a selective herbicide that I'm aware of anyway, not that's rated for residential use anyway, that will get rid of Japanese stilt grass. Physically remove it. You can try glyphosate if you want. But be careful, because if it dings the stilt grass, it's also going to damage anything else around it, right? So if you have like stilt grass growing in a Bermuda lawn, like the Bermuda is going to get damaged by that. So the thing I would say is physically remove it if you can, like kind of like the same approach with you take for Dallas grass, like dig it, like physically dig it out. That is what I would recommend. All right, Lee Farmer says, "I have black sticker number 7 still. I may put the autograph on eBay." Yeah, put it on eBay, Lee. Let me know how much you get for it. Here's the thing: eBay might charge you to sell it. Like, no one's gonna care. But try it. I'll, if you do that, I'll look out for it. How about that, Lee? That'd be really cool. Be cool to see. Okay, next up is Kathleen. I remember you from last week, Kathleen, where you said, "Hey Ron, I told you last week that I over-fertilized my grass and got some brown streaks, and you told me I had to wait it out for my grass to turn back green. How long will I have to wait? Thank you." It depends. I don't have pictures of it, Kathleen, but figure, 3 weeks to a month, thereabouts, depending on how bad how much you over fertilize, how bad the burn is. The lawn will recover from it. Don't worry about it. The lawn is going to recover. Like, I've got a couple of videos showing me doing something similar, fertilizer burn, like burning my lawn, and I show you how it recovers. So let's see here. Let's see how long to fix a fertilizer burn, part 1. So I will send you a link to this. This is an older video from 4 years ago at this point, but check this out, and that will give you an idea of, because I did a worse thing than you did. I actually had fertilizer actually spill in a clump in one spot on the lawn. So check that out, and you can see what happens to a lawn whenever you spill fertilizer on it. And also, I think the video following that one shows you how it recovered. But it's just going to be a while, 3 to 4 weeks. I will say, to help speed it up, you're likely, I'm sure, watering your lawn, but also if you can mow it, if you can continue to mow your lawn regularly a couple times a week, that's going to help speed up or stimulate recovery as well too. So hope that helps. Sorry you're dealing with that. It's never fun to see, have your lawn get smacked with a fertilizer burn, but it's it happens to the best of us. We've all done it at some point. But just realize that it will recover. But I'd say 3 to 4 weeks, depending on the severity of the burn, is what I would expect. And just mow a lot in the meantime to help the lawn bounce back a bit faster. All right, so Kevin Grimes is back. You said so you did also 24011 and propiconazole and iron. And you said, should I go back tomorrow and drop headway G and water it all in, or just wait to see what the Pro 14.3 does on its own? Any other ideas? Okay, so it depends on what you're trying to accomplish, Kevin. So I imagine because you're applying fungicide, unless you're doing it as a preventative, that you maybe have some dollar spot or some other fungus in your lawn that you're trying to control. The short answer is no. I would not go out. If you applied the propiconazole in liquid form today or yesterday, I would not go out tomorrow and apply headway, which has got propiconazole in it. What I would do is, if you want to, again, if you have like a fungus problem in your lawn now, wait 3 weeks, 21 days, and then you can apply the headway. That is the way I would go about it. Again, I don't have enough context. You sound like you're trying to like a massive rehab, trying to fix a lot of problems in the lawn. You're trying to do it all at once. The one thing that's going to also help with everything else you're doing, so you're taking care of weeds, you're taking care of fungus problems. Sounds like you're watering it. You're putting some fertilizer down. I didn't see any grub control. One thing you might consider, that's one thing you can do, you should be doing, is some kind of insecticide to keep particularly grubs, also armyworms out of your lawn. What I like to use is a product called Acelepryn. It sounds like you have a sprayer, so if you can get this in liquid form, it's super easy to apply. This applies really easy in your backpack sprayer. We carry this on the golf course lawn store in both a liquid and granular form, but since you have a sprayer, get the liquid. It gives you more flexibility around application rates, and that is the only thing I would add to what you're doing right now, because you've got pretty much everything else covered, it sounds like. And I would and as far as the headway, if you already got a bag of it, wait 21 days and then do your next application then. And with everything you're doing, don't forget your mowing, man. Mowing is going to be the thing that's going to tie all of this together. The herbicides are going to knock back the weeds. The fungicides are gonna help hopefully suppress or stop the fungus from spreading further. Your mowing practices are now what's going to help the grass begin to take over as the dominant plant in the lawn over the weeds. So don't forget mowing in everything that you're doing as far as trying to renovate the lawn. So great stuff, man. It's like you got a lot of it already figured out, which is great. Only thing I would say is add an insecticide. Add Acelepryn. That's the one that I recommend, because it's the reason why I like Acelepryn is that it kills. I'll actually show you here. Is that it kills the stuff that we don't want in our lawn, like grubs, armyworms are a really bad one, bluegrass weevils, those types of things. But it doesn't kill the things that we want to keep, like earthworms and pollinators like bees. It's safe against those types of insects, right? Again, we have it in both the liquid and granular form. Either one of these will work. That's the only thing that I see. If there's one other thing you really should be doing, or given that you're trying to do a major renovation, I would definitely get an insecticide down as well. So Acelepryn is what I would say to go with. So hope that helps. Great stuff, man. I appreciate you. You said first time here. Also, this is an awesome channel and community. Yeah, man, we have a pretty good time. We have a good time talking about lawn turf grass. The 150 or so, 60 of us in here, just talking about grass on a Friday evening. Bunch of lawn nerds we are, right? But yeah, man, if you ever have questions, Kevin, feel free to bounce it off of the group in here. If I don't know the answer, sometimes there's other people in here that work in industry that know. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing, man. Just add mowing to it, add Acelepryn, and I think you're good to go. All right, next up is Naaman Washington. He says, I have trees in my backyard and I was wondering if Scott's Bermuda grass seed would grow in a shaded area. No, will not. Will not. No Bermuda grass seed, Naaman, will grow well or will thrive in a shaded area. Now, Tiff Tuff, if you saw the interview that we had with, forget his name, the gentleman that was on from Supersod, Tiff Tuff will do a little bit better in the shade than, like, say, Tiffway 419 or like than Arden 15. But when a little bit better means that, whereas Arden 15 needs like all the sunlight, I say like 8 or 9 hours of direct sunlight every day, but really what I'm trying to say is all the sunlight. All the sunlight it can get, it wants that and more. Tiff Tuff maybe needs like all the sunlight minus an hour, maybe 90 minutes. So it still needs a ton of light. So the long short of the end of the question, or the answer to the question is no. Like Bermuda does not grow in shade. Shade tolerant Bermuda is not really a thing. So it's just not, because here's the thing. Even if you can get a grass, even if the Scott seed that they say is shade tolerant will germinate in a shaded area, it's not gonna, if you can, even if you get it to germinate and grow a little bit, it's gonna look scraggly, thin. It's never gonna look as good as the rest of the lawn. What you're gonna find is the lawn that's getting direct sunlight is gonna look awesome. And that area, as you move into the shaded area, it's gonna thin out, and it's just not gonna look good. So your options are either one, don't plant Bermuda there. If you're getting some sunlight, you can maybe try zoysia or something like that in that area. Or you can raise the canopy, right? So if there are a lot of branches that are low hanging, if you can like cut some of those back on the tree to get more sunlight down to the lawn, that could be an option that's going to help the Bermuda do a bit better. But the general rule is, assuming there's not like a rock, 2 inches underneath the soil, and you've got reasonable nutrition, because Bermuda isn't really that picky. If you got and there's not some foreign object, and there's reasonable nutrition, reasonable water, Bermuda will grow well. So if Bermuda is not growing in that area where there is shade right now, then another type of Bermuda will not grow there either. So I guess that's a great way of knowing where Bermuda will grow and where it will not grow. If it's not growing there now, putting seed there it's not gonna magically start growing, because like Scott says on the label that, hey, this is shade tolerant Bermuda, because it's not really a thing. It doesn't really exist. Not for Bermuda grass anyway. So hope that helps. Hope it saves you a lot of trouble. Worst case scenario, if you can't get grass to grow there at all, you can also just maybe put some rocks down, do some kind of a decoration, something to make it look nice. But I would not go down the path of trying to get Bermuda to grow in the shade. That is not, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. I don't know any way to say it that other than it's just not going to happen. All right, next up is JK. JK says, I made my first application of Turfplex a week ago at the 0.25 pounds of N per 1,000 square foot rate. I mean, how many, are you talking about Turfplex? It should be in ounces. On the label, it should say, it should be like, number of ounces. So what I would say, there's 6 ounce rate, there's a 7.5 ounce rate, and then there is the 15.1 ounce rate, which I've never used. So I'm not sure what rates you're using, JK. But you say, okay, with my spoon feeding program, how often would I spray? I did throw down half a pound of nitrogen with PGF Complete 3 weeks ago. Okay, cool. So you put half a pound of nitrogen down from your granular. Sounds great. I love it. What I do with Turfplex is 6 ounces of that product with a gallon of water over 1,000 square feet. And I do that twice a month. I do that at the beginning of the month, and I do that at the middle of the month. And that is going to get you around between 0.7 and 0.8 pounds of nitrogen total in the soil, in the lawn, over the course of the growing month, which is plenty for Bermuda, especially if you're doing a lot of the other things I suggest, as far as like using Essential G regularly on your lawn, using the Miramichi Green biostimulants, so doing things that are going to help maximize the nutrients that you are putting into the soil, into the lawn, right? So 6 ounces, if you want just the rate that I would recommend, what I do, 6 ounces of Turfplex with a gallon of water over 1,000 square feet. That's going to equate to about 1/10 of a pound of nitrogen, which again, going down with your half a pound of PGF Complete, you're going to be good if you do that twice a month. So hope that helps. If you have any other questions, let me know. Looks good. All right, next up is Heartfelt Fashion. He says, hello, my Allett brother. I heard you say RN15 is hard to find. Yeah, it's hard to find, or it's becoming more difficult to find, because from what I understand, it's no longer being produced. Like they've discontinued it. I hear there's something else coming out now, or coming out soon, but I don't know what that is. So RN15, if you can find it, and you really want to do a renovation and you want to use Arden, then by all means. But just know that you better get it right, because there's not going to be a way for you to really get a whole lot more of it if it doesn't take the first time, doesn't grow in the way you want to the first time. All right, we got a super sticker. Let me run down here and grab that really quick. Actually, got a couple of things. Let me get down here first. We got a super chat from LG. Already got that. We got a super chat from Mr. Josh Habib in the house. Thank you so much, Josh.
Super chat received.
He says, happy Friday, doctor. Hope you're doing well. I am. He says, new machine looks great. Very excited for the content. You deserve the best. Cheers, bud. I appreciate it. I'll have a sip out of the cup that you gave me. Check that. I appreciate that, Josh. And of course, there's going to be content. There's going to be plenty of content on the Allett on the Evolution. And then the next super sticker we got here is from Melly Mel saying, keep it up.
Super chat received.
Pair of character lifting weights. Say, keep it up. I appreciate that, Melly Mel. Appreciate that. You know, it's funny. You guys know me from the before, like way back when I was a big car. I still am a big car guy, big car nut. And I used to own, I had an Evolution, a Lancer Evolution 9 MR. So if you guys were into cars, you guys know how rare those were. I think they only did them for 1 year. I think 2006. So only 1 year they actually made those. And I lost my Evo. Buddy of mine crashed it. And so now I have a new Evo, another Evolution. It's not, granted, it's not a Lancer, it's not a Mitsubishi, it's not turbocharged, but it's still pretty cool, right? So another Evo is in my life. And I guess one that actually I can make use of for my lawn. So like a little bit of a segue there, but I figured you guys might get a kick out of it. All right, next up is Heartfelt Fashion. He's a question. He says, the first cut with my Allett and it's striped like crazy. No matter what others think of the mower, you can't deny the hashtag stripe action. It's true, man. I mean, literally, you know, Heartfelt Fashion, this was unsolicited. Like we did Alex's lawn this afternoon. We did Alex's lawn and he came up to me unsolicited and said, my lawn has never had stripes like this before. It's just never had stripes like that defined and that crisp before. And I mean, this is, mind you, this is after the lawn was verticut and turf raked. So it's thinned out. It's not even like really dense and nice and thick yet, right? And the stripes are still awesome. And then, so yeah, I hear you. I mean, Allett stripes is definitely a thing. They have taken stripe action to another level. You guys know me, you know, I like my stripes. So it definitely passes that box is checked. That box is absolutely checked. All right, G Free says, "Hey Ron, Stripe Action Gang, how about that new mower? It's fire. Thank you so much, G Free. I really do like it. Putting it through its paces, and well, I'll keep you guys posted. Again, if you guys want to see like the behind the scenes of when I just have to get out there and decide just to film some stuff, follow, subscribe to the channel, and then also watch the YouTube stories." Let's see. Derek Dong says, do you have an app to order? I do not, Derek. I don't have an app. But what you can do is just go to here, the golf course lawn store. The store, the website is mobile friendly, right? It is responsive. So if you are going through the site on either a mobile device or on a desktop, either one, it works well. You know, people are able to place orders on mobile phones just as well as they are on mobile devices. So that, don't let the fact that there's not an app per se for the golf course lawn store hold you back. You could absolutely order using your mobile device. It was like a lot of the design work that's gone into it, like even some of the changes that have been made in recent months have been around making sure the site is mobile responsive, so that if you're using your phone or tablet, that everything works as it should, and it's still a fun and good experience to use, even if you're not using a desktop. So hope that helps, sir. If you need anything else, let me know. Let me know. Ben Dover says, sorry I'm late. I have some 2-speed catching up to do. Be right back, y'all. It's going to take a while even at 2x to catch up. All right, let's see. Ben Dover says, I was working in light rain, which is the best way to work right now in Texas, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty hot in Texas, so I get it. Working in light rain is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. All right, Heartfelt Fashion says, you laughed at me. You laughed at me when I was so excited to get my mower from Roland. Now look at you, just as excited. It's a great machine. I am excited. Because here's the thing, you know, it's one of those things where here's the thing. I should have known it was going to happen, right? Because when I had my True Cut and I was mowing with my True Cut and I was like, man, this is the awesome mower. The stripe action is awesome. There's no way it could be ever better than this. And someone says, it's good. You should try a greens mower. It can get even better. So, all right, fine. So I get a greens mower, and it makes they were correct. A greens mower is another level of stripe action, quality of cut, all that jazz. And then the thing that I found is that while a greens mower cuts great, and I love my Toro, love my Greensmaster, is the ability to do some of the other things that I want to do, like particularly verticutting. I have to buy an entirely other machine to be able to do that, right? And as far as getting a verticutter that has a basket on it, so I'm not spending hours out there cleaning up the lawn, like what I did this past March, I don't ever want to have to do that again. Like it's enough work that I never want to have to go through verticutting a lawn that way, where I cut it and then I got to spend like literally hours raking out there with a rake trying to get all the debris up, right? So I will say, as far as the way the mower cuts, because of the weight of it, the stripe action is better than the Toro. It just is. And then all of the other features that it has, as far as being able to, do aeration with it, being able to do a brush with it, being able to turf rake with it, being able to verticut, love that with it. It's a great piece of equipment for that allows you to do a bit of everything, and it does all those things really well, right? So you're right, heartfelt fashion. I did make fun of you. I did laugh at you, and now look at me now, loving it, right? All right, next up is Mike Harvey. He says, "Hey Ron, wondering if it's okay to level my yard now or should I wait? I have weak spots that have not filled in yet. I emailed you pics of. Also, when will the seed heads stop? Still getting them." Okay, Mike. So if you have not, so I had seed head issues. Alex did as well too, but and even other lawns in the neighborhood had seed heads. But as I predicted, and it was, based on what's happened in the past, is seed heads are really a 2 to 3 week problem on a lawn that's getting enough water and a lawn that has healthy soil, right? So if the nutrients are where they need to be and the lawn is getting enough water, really seed heads shouldn't stick around for more than 2 to 3 weeks. And that's what I'm seeing in my lawn, Alex's lawn, even the lawns that don't get babied like our lawns, the same kind of thing is happening. So if you're still getting seed heads, if you've not as yet, the thing I'm going to recommend is get a soil test done. I mean, I'm sure you're watering plenty, but get a soil test done. This is going to let us know from a nutrient standpoint if there's any deficiencies that we need to correct. That is going to help with seed heads just going away, eventually going away in your lawn. You can continue mowing, you can continue doing all the things you're doing, but if it's been a month, 5 weeks, and it's not slowing down, it's like every time you mow, it's like the same thing over and over again, then I'm going to lean towards probably some kind of nutrient deficiency. Because I tell you a story. I think it was Dalvin. If Dalvin's in here, Dalvin Larry, I think it was him. And if it's not him, it's someone whose name has Larry in it. I think it's Dalvin. But last year, he had an issue with seed heads starting around a couple of weeks ago, right? Mid May. And, he was watering and he's like, I can't figure out what's going on. I put hydrogen down. I'm mowing plenty and the seed heads are just not going away. And I kept telling him, you know what, it sounds like you're doing all the right things, man. Get a soil test done and let's see what's going on, because the only thing I can think of at this point is a nutrient deficiency. He didn't do it. Finally, in July, he gets around, he spends the $30 for one of these, which is not that much money, gets a soil test done, and then we come to find out that all his macros are low. All of them. Even though he's fertilizing the lawn, or he thinks he's fertilizing the lawn properly, all his macros are low. He goes out and he gets a triple 12, he puts that down, and literally 5 weeks later, I mean, it's gone. The problem's there's no issues, and I have not heard from him this season as yet that seed heads are a problem in his lawn, not any worse than anybody else's. So I say all that to say, to kind of round it all up, Tyler's going to put a nice bow on it, is that if you are watering enough, and if your lawn's getting enough water, then it's probably a nutrient deficiency, because it really shouldn't be more than 2 to 3 weeks before the lawn transitions from, seed heads being all over the place and they fall off and gradually getting less and less until now on my lawn, there's really not any more, right? So that's the thing I would look into, Mike. Get a soil test done and let's look at the results. And then based on that, once we correct that, I think you'll see a positive result as far as that goes. Another thing you can do too that helps with seed heads, helps suppress them a bit, doesn't make them go away completely, is to consider incorporating Primo Max, like a plant growth regulator, into your program. This helps with seed head suppression. Again, keyword suppression, doesn't make them go away. So in other words, if you still have a nutrient deficiency, there's still going to be a problem. But using some PGR along with make sure the lawn's got enough water and enough nutrient, between those things, you should be able to correct the problem in your grass. So hope that helps. If you have any other questions, let me know. Next up is Troy Ridley. Troy says, "Hey Ron, congratulations." Thank you so much, Troy. I really appreciate it, man. It's been it's a big investment. It's a lot of money. It's an expensive piece of equipment, but I'm excited. And I will definitely say you definitely get your money's worth in results and in weight. So if as far as just weight, they don't cheat you on metal with the C27. It's heavy. It's a heavy piece of equipment. All right, next up is Robert Rainey. He says, "Don't forget the backlap feature on the new rig. That's a great selling point." Yes, it's a good point. So I probably can't show you in this video, but I will show you. I'm not sure if I will be able to show, if I pan the camera properly to be able to show you where that is. But let's see here. As we come around, you'll see. I don't think I'm going to be able to show it. I'll have to show it tomorrow morning. Okay, right. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so you see that yellow sticker? You see the 84 sticker, which is that's the noise, and then the yellow sticker. Below that, you see that little like rubber black like fitting. There's a control box that screws onto that. I don't have it as yet. It's going to show up next week. That control box allows you to backlap the mower without having to disassemble anything. Like, with a true cut, you gotta take the chain off and move the bed knife away from the you have to do some disassembly. Other mowers, you may have to take the cover off and route the belts to where it's spinning differently, spinning in reverse order. With the C27, you have to do any of that. All you do is you have to get the control box. Obviously, you got to buy that, connect that to it, and then press the button, and literally the reel spins in reverse at 300 RPM. So backlapping it becomes a fairly trivial process, which means I'll actually do it now, right? Because that's why I've never done it in the past, is it's a pain in the neck to do. And now it's easy, so I will make content on doing that as well for you guys if you are so interested. So good stuff, Robert. Thanks for reminding me on that. You're right. I did forget to mention that feature. I did. All right, John Rob Will is here. He says, happy Friday, everyone. What's going on, Job Rob Will? Thanks for coming to hang out in the live stream. Next is Joel Hernandez. He says, happy Friday, Ron. I swear I thought you were going to go for the Sterling when you said you were getting a new mower. But when I went on YouTube, I seen you went for the C27. Congrats on the new mower. Thank you so much for that, Joel. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, the Sterling is a great mower. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with the Sterling. It's just for... Guys, I'm gonna say I'm hard on my equipment, but like I actually use my stuff. Like you guys saw some of the pictures I posted. Like I'm not afraid to get stuff dirty, and anything I buy is going to get used. So right now, in the video you guys see me that I keep showing over and over, it's nice and clean. But I can show you. Well, do I have a picture of it? I can show you. This is what it looked like after. Again, I should put this on the screen, but I can actually show you this way. This is what it looked like after day one. See how dirty and nasty and filthy that is? Like, it put in work. I don't mess around, man. I mean, it's supposed to be an industrial piece of equipment. We're going to find out. So this is verticutting, turf raking, mowing. I put it through its paces. I let it have it because it's supposed to be able to take it. Like my greens mower takes it. So, and it just didn't bat an eye. It's like, give me more. Just recharge my batteries and let's go again. So I am liking that aspect of it. So again, comparing the Sterling and comparing the C27, in my opinion, it's not really a fair comparison. Just like comparing a True Cut and a greens mower, it's not really a fair comparison. The mowers are completely different price points. As an electric mower, for the few electric mowers that I've seen, I've never used any of Allett's other than the Sterling, but I have seen like the Swardman electric, and the Sterling is like way better than that. Like it's like orders of magnitude better than that mower. And just the build quality about it is it's a solid piece of equipment. You know what I mean? The one negative for me on the Sterling is that it only takes one battery, and one battery isn't enough to do my entire lawn. So that's kind of for me is a kind of a bummer. And frankly, it's a bit light. I want a bit more weight. I like a bit more weight in my mower so that the stripes, I get better stripe action. It handles slopes and uneven areas a bit better. So that would be the big thing for me. But then there's people that don't want a heavy mower. So, what I want and my requirements in a piece of equipment are not necessarily what yours or anyone else's are going to be. So you have to figure out what's important to you and choose a piece of equipment that is best fitted, based on what you're trying to achieve and based on your budget. For me, the biggest thing is I don't want stuff like that. I'm gonna have to baby. I don't want equipment that has to be gentle with and that I can't use day in, day out and have to worry about, maintaining it every 5 minutes. I want something I can literally, I'll put some grease on it like once a month. I'll check the belts like once a month, and then I'm just gonna run it. And this is gonna do that. So that's my big takeaway from it, which is why I just I'm pretty excited to see how it will end up, how the lawn will end up looking at the end of the season by doing it the Allett way of doing things. All right, Joel says, I ended up selling my GM 1000 and saved up to get a Liberty 43, tiny mower, but super cool. Very cool. That's neat, Joel. So depending on what you want, if the cartridge system is what you're after, if that's more important to you than like a greens mower, then I could see why you would do that. Makes sense. Okay, next is Gary Kellett Jr. He says, hey, Ron, I notice some clover in my yard. Besides that, I'm weed free. I sprayed some T-zone and Lesco 3-way at separate times, but it's still there. Please help. What kind of grass do you have, Gary? Because the T-zone, I would have thought the T-zone would have taken care of that. I don't know. I mean, what you've done, what you sprayed should have worked. The one thing I might say is this: if you want to try it again, so you've got some herbicides already. If you want to try it again, but next time add a surfactant with it, try that and see if that helps you get better results against the clover. Clover isn't typically too bad to get rid of, but yeah, I'm not sure why those two herbicides that should have worked didn't get rid of it. If you want to step up to something a bit more potent, you can always go with like Celsius. That again, assuming you have warm season grass. I can't tell what kind of grass you have there. Looks like the dogs on the lawn. I can't tell. You can try something like Celsius, or if you have cool season grass, Tenacity. That's like the equivalent as far as the more commercial grade, the more pro grade herbicide. So for warm season grass, Celsius, surfactant, and then a marker dye for you to see where you sprayed. These three, that's the Triforce, those three. And then if you have cool season grass, then Tenacity, surfactant, and then the marker dye. So that's the Triforce this way. So cool season Triforce and warm season Triforce. And if you want to take care of sedges and you also have warm season grass, then you can add Certainty to it and you have the warm season Quad Force. Not really a thing, just made it up. But this combination, Celsius and Certainty, is baller on warm season grass. As far as being able to take care of like most weeds that people have in their warm season lawns, it's really hard to beat Celsius and Certainty. A little bit more pricey, but it definitely will get the job done. So try Celsius if you've, I say this, try what you've been using already, but add a surfactant. If that doesn't work, you're not getting the results you want, go with Celsius with a surfactant. That will get it. And then, continue on. So it just depends on which way you want to go. All right, Thin Cut has a question. He says, hey, Ron, how long after using is Hydrotain safe for kids and animals? I'd have to check the label, but I mean, it's really, if you apply it and water it in, kind of like with fertilizer, once it's applied and watered in, then you're safe to re-enter the lawn. Like I have literally applied Hydrotain, and I always use a granular, but I've applied Hydrotain and I go out and I walk around on the lawn afterwards. And then I either don't water it until the next day, or I wait for it to rain to water it in, and there's no issue. It's not like Hydrotain is not like herbicides or that is the things you want to be a little bit more careful about. But Hydrotain, I wouldn't be too concerned about fur babies or kiddos getting back in the lawn. Now here's the thing. I would not have them eating it. Like you wouldn't have them eating anything, any lawn care product. But as far as being afraid of them having some kind of reaction to it, or they're being like the kind of concerns you might have with a herbicide, I would not have those concerns with something like Hydrotain. I really wouldn't. So if you want to be super safe, apply it, water it in, keep them off the lawn for 24 hours, and the next day, then they can re-enter the lawn. Similar rule like you use for most lawn care, most lawn product applications, for residential anyway. All right, next up is Chris Graham. He says, I've been using fast release fertilizer to encourage my Bermuda to spread into the bare spots, but still getting slow results. Should I use a higher nitrogen fertilizer? No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, Chris. I mean, the thing that's going to help the lawns spread into bare spots are two things: time and mowing, right? So the more you cut the grass, especially if you're cutting it shorter, you're going to encourage the grass to grow, because Bermuda likes to spread laterally. You're going to encourage it to start growing and filling in those bare spots faster. Adding more nitrogen, I really wouldn't add more nitrogen than, from Bermuda anyway, throughout the growing season. I wouldn't do more than a pound of nitrogen. I don't go that heavy. I go like around 0.8 of a pound. So I would not go out there and try and throw more nitrogen at it to try and fix the problem, because while that will help the grass grow faster, I don't know that it's going to make a huge difference on how much faster a bare spot is going to fill in. To really correct that, like regular and frequent mowing is gonna help speed that process up. I wouldn't go any heavier. Like fertilize your lawn based on soil test results, 0.8 of a pound to a pound of nitrogen per month. It's all you need for Bermuda, and then just mow it and give it time, and then it's gonna do its thing and it's gonna fill in. Now, one thing while we're on the topic of bare spots, Chris, is do you know why the spots are bare? Is it some kind of was it a fungus damage, or have you checked to make sure there's no debris or anything in that area that's causing the areas that are bare to be bare, to make the grass have struggle with growing in that area? That's something to check. That's something you can do while you're waiting for it to fill in, because just out of the blue there should be a reason. Especially this time of year, it's plenty hot now. The grass should be filling in pretty well. If there's a big area of your lawn that's got a bare spot in it, especially here we are now in June, there's a reason for that. We need to figure out what that is. But the answer is not throwing a ton of nitrogen at it. I would not do that. Okay, next up is Rob Miller. He says, I just got my lawn results. It shows my N and K are low. Micros are low, high phosphorus, Ken and S, and sulfur. By pH at 7.11, recommended a 1608 and elemental sulfur to bring the pH down. What would Ron do? It's a first. Never seen that one. Seen it done that way before. What would Ron do? Ron would apply a 1608 and a micronutrient. So humic max is no longer around anymore, not right now anyway. So what I would do is, if you want to know what I would run for what you're trying to, based on what you're telling me in your soil test results, is I would get flagship. I would apply this at I don't know, let's say, I'm sorry, 2 pounds per thousand. And here's the thing, I need to qualify this. If you are doing a spoon feeding program, to where you're also supplementing, getting some of your nitrogen from liquids as well, Rob, then I would do flagship at 2 pounds per thousand. That's going to put about half a pound of nitrogen in the lawn. Okay. If you are not doing that, so we're saying, hey, all I'm doing is a granular, then apply it at bag rate, which is 3 pounds per thousand, and that's going to be enough nitrogen and enough potassium to feed your lawn for the per month. That's going to be good to go. As far as your micronutrient, what I would do for that is what's right next to flagship, which is Nutrizolve. So these two are what I would apply. The rate for flagship depends on whether or not you're using something like Turfplex or 901C to help supplement your nitrogen demands. If you're not, again, 3 pounds per thousand, and then the Nutrizolve as your micronutrient. The flagship does have micronutrient in it as well, but if you want a faster color response, like a bit of like liquid iron to help get a response faster, that is where Nutrizolve comes in. So hope that helps. And I just got an assist. For the previous question, Alex just also chimed in on me. I guess he's watching, but because he just sent me a picture of something that came out of. Actually, I can't get this on the live show. I might be able to do it live. Let's see if I can show you guys. So if you have a bare spot in your lawn, this is something that could be an issue. Let's see if I can do this live. Please don't crash. Let's see. Let's see if this is going to work. All right, so one thing that can cause you to have bare spots is right off the patio. This is Alex's brother-in-law. I don't know how they buried this. It's like a piece of plywood or something that was left over from the construction of the house. That was left in the lawn, and that caused actually, I know where this is in his lawn because I've seen it before. This is on the left side of the patio, if I'm looking at it right. But something like that will cause a bare spot. So don't discount there being some debris under the soil and a shallow area under the soil, because that kind of thing will absolutely cause a bare spot or the grass to struggle in those areas. So for the previous question, the previous person, Chris, check that as well. Get the screwdriver, do the screwdriver test, and make sure that it goes all the way in. There's no problems where you run into a rock, or in the case of Alex's brother-in-law, a piece of plywood. And Rob, for you, flagship and Nutrizolve. If you're trying to get the results as fast as possible. If you don't want to have to spray a liquid, just flagship alone at 3 pounds per thousand will work too. So hope that helps. Great stuff. All right, next up is Career Choices 912. It says, great suggestion and or friendly reminder on calibrating a sprayer before adding liquids that will disturb the soil. So true. Your channel is so very informative while remaining stylish. I like it. I don't know about being stylish, but I like to think I'm stylish, but I'm like middle-aged guy stylish. I'm not like cool guy stylish. So, but yes, I will tell you that is the Career Choices. Not to I'm making jokes about it, but it is important. It really is that important when it comes to backpack sprayers. People that are afraid of spraying liquids on their lawns. Because they're afraid, my buddy sprayed liquids and they burn their lawn, or they under apply it, they don't get the results they want. Like this, the only thing you really have to do that will fix that problem is calibrate your sprayer. Like figure out what spray tip you want to use, calibrate it. It takes literally 5 to 10 minutes to do. And then you've got the confidence to get out there and spray whatever you're applying on the lawn. You can literally get whatever product it is, read the label. It says, for acelepryn, Ron's video, it says, 0.2 pounds, 0.2 pounds, not that, 0.2 ounces, 0.2 fluid ounces of acelepryn with a gallon of water over 1,000 square feet. I've calibrated my backpack sprayer, so I know exactly how to do that, right? And that's going to be true for acelepryn. It's going to be true for Primo. It's going to be true for Turfplex. It's going to be true for any product. It's going to be true for the Miramichi Green Carbon Kit. Any liquids you apply to your lawn, on the label, it's going to have a fluid ounce amount mixed with a dilution rate, so in most cases, a gallon of water over 1,000 square feet. So I cannot stress enough that it's fine and good to go out and buy like the fancy backpack sprayer, and you can get the Yard Mastery sprayer, or the Flow Zone sprayer, or the Ryobi sprayer. You can buy whichever one you want. But when it comes to backpack sprayers, getting a good result is really is a case of the Indian and not the arrow. So you really gotta take the time, calibrate it, get it, know your sprayer, and then you're gonna get a good result on your lawn. On the topic of Ryobi, so a viewer, Rusty, a friend of the channel, sent a picture to me. So if any of you guys have that Ryobi 40 volt that's been pretty popular, he sent me a picture here tonight. And what this is the 1 gallon per 1,000 square. This is what he uses for his walking pace. Now here's the thing, keep in mind, right? That setting that we got marked there, like the little, it sounds like, I don't know, was that 7 o'clock positions, between 7 and 8 o'clock position, that little mark. He says that is where he has his set, and that flows about a gallon of water, a gallon of product over 1,000 square feet with the included foliar tip, because you always have to say that, right? You say, well, what flow rate, but then again, which tip are you using? Because that makes a difference. So with the included foliar tip that comes with the Ryobi, this setting right there is what he likes to use. So for any of you guys that have that sprayer and want a good starting point, that is, that's a good place to start. It's probably going to be a little bit different. You have to adjust it based on your walking speed and this kind of thing. But that's about where you want to go, because I think that sprayer has the potentiometer, which I'm not a huge fan of. So you are going to need to make some kind of a mark to make sure that you are running it at the same flow rate each time. But Rusty's helped you out, knowing that go around 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, somewhere in there. That's a good starting point for the Ryobi 40 volts. So thanks for that again, Rusty. I appreciate you always sharing the really cool tips, the little obscure knowledge that everyone is, that's always helpful for people on the channel. So keep it going. All right, next up, Rob is back with another question. He says, I got my soil test results back. Nitrogen, potassium, and iron and micros are low. Phosphorus, sulfur, and calcium are high. Sodium is in the zone of Okay, it's decent. pH 7.11. They recommended. Okay, yeah. So the same answers to the question. The flagship and Nutrizolve. That's your jam. That is what I would do. That's what I would do. If you're trying to go the more economical route, just flagship at a slightly higher rate, at bag rate, 3 pounds per 1,000. And if you are not doing that, actually, let me correct myself. Flagship at 3 pounds per 1,000 if you are not spraying any liquid nitrogen to your lawn throughout the course of a month. If you are doing that, go at 2 pounds per 1,000, spray your liquid like Turfplex or whatever liquid nitrogen product you're using, and then supplement it with the Nutrizolve, because that's going to get you a faster response as far as color, as far as the iron goes. So hope that helps. Rob, great question, and you asked it 2 different ways, and I answered it pretty much the same way. But yeah, at least you're covered now. So go forth and conquer. All right, next up is Lance F. He says, hey, Ron, hurt my back at work yesterday. That's no good. That is no good. Hate to hear that. So my wife helped me out by mowing the lawn this evening. You got a good wife. That's awesome. That's really good. Bro, you know what? Hang on. It's not new equipment. We're going to have to clap it up. We have to give her some love for that. Good stuff. Awesome. He says, I don't know what hurt more, watching her or my back. LOL, good life. Good wife. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. For getting out there and mowing it for you is pretty awesome. So when you say what hurt more, watching her mow it or your back. So here's the thing. I think I probably am not the only one that suffers with this. You guys probably suffer with it too. But when we get out there and we know our lawns, we out there, you're mowing it all the time. You feel like you're the only one that can really mow your grass right. You feel like no one else can really mow it the way you mow it. So I still show appreciation. She may not have mowed it exactly the way you wanted, but it's still pretty cool. She got out there and did it anyway, given that you hurt your back, man. So I still say that's you got a good one. That's really cool that she helped you out. All right, guys, we're getting close to giveaway time. Let me get ready to do that. I said 9 o'clock, so we'll do that, and then we'll come back and answer some more questions. I'll take one more question, then we'll do the giveaway. All right, Thurston R says, thanks for your quick response onto my email this week. Headway G on the way for next application. You commented on fertilizing throughout the summer. Does that apply to cool season grass as well? So I don't have a cool season lawn, Thurston. I'd probably not push growth or feed the cool season lawn during summer months, at least not as much as I would during the spring and fall. but I don't have cool season grass, so I'm not really the best person to answer that question. I could see the merits of backing off on how much nitrogen that you're putting into a cool season lawn during the middle of summer, because really that you're trying to get the grasses to survive, right? It's not really actively growing, it's not thriving, that's not really go time for that lawn, for that particular grass type. For Bermuda, zoysia, St. Augustine, any warm season grass, absolutely. I mean, as long as you're out there mowing it, you can feed it all season long. Cool season grasses, I would say spring and fall. Summertime, you might want to back off a little bit because it's just trying to survive. It's not really trying to actively grow during that period of time. But I am open to being corrected on that. Demir is not here. Actually, he's the live stream. Demir's in the live stream. So Demir, if you're here, feel free to chime in. I'll keep looking at the bottom to see if you answer. What are your thoughts on feeding cool season grass in the middle of summer? What are your thoughts? So summer months roll around. Do you back off your nitrogen inputs in a cool season lawn during the summer, or do you feed it the same way all throughout the entire season? So if you're still around, let me know. Drop them in the chat. I'll look out for it. And if you answer, we'll put it up here because you would know, right? Because you're a cool season guy. Okay, guys. So giveaway time. So the way this is going to work, if I can get this to come up, is this is the URL. I'll do it live with you guys. Random comment picker. So this is the URL for the video. I think I got it right. Let me make sure I can show you guys, make sure I'm not cheating you guys. Here, we will replace the MySoul one with this one. And you'll see that this is the video for the Tired of Answering Your Lawn video. This is the one that you should have posted your comment to with something related to Advion. So if we scroll down here, we got lots of Advion comments. Good. All right, so we'll go back to the comment picker. I will throw this in here. There's only gonna be one winner tonight. Or will there be two? We might be able to do a second one. Maybe. There's 140 of you guys in here, so maybe you do the second one, right? One doesn't seem fair, right? All right, so we're fetching the comments and we're including replies. We have 57 comments. The first winner, and you have to be present to win, guys. You got to be present to win. So let me get my notepad out here so I can actually make notes here of who is getting these. All right. So the first winner for the Advion Fire Ant Bait is Jairus Peoples. Jairus Peoples, are you present? Please come to the DJ booth and pick up your prize. I'm gonna put you down here as a potential, Jared. If you are here, let us know. What I will do is I'll give you 5 minutes. And then we will redraw. So we got Jairus, and because I'm feeling particularly generous tonight, we'll do two. We'll do two of them, right? Because 145 people in here, and I feel kind of bad. Only one person's getting one. So Jairus, you've got 5 minutes. It is 9:26 now. At 9:31, if I don't see you comment, we will redraw again. Okay, and for the second person, the second winner, so we'll close this out. The second person for the second bottle of Advion, or tub of Advion, is going to be Chris Sobzik. So if you are here, Chris or Jairus, please comment or let me know that you're here. If you are here, you guys have, we'll say till 9:32 to say that, yeah, I'm here, and we will, I'll get this on the way to you. You got to send me your address of where you want it to go. And if you do that, I'll get it out to you. If not, we'll redraw. All right. So while we wait for that, guys, so stay tuned because I haven't seen them pop in here saying that we are, that they're here. So you guys are still in the running, and I'm not resetting this. You guys see Chris is still up here. I'm not resetting this. So they cannot be drawn again. All right. So back to the live stream. I think Devin chimed in on this. So he says, back off in the summer, maybe 1/10 of a pound of N every other week, go heavy at 1/4 pound in the spring and fall. So there you go. He says, so the guy that actually he works, he makes his living taking care of cool season turf, says back off on the summer. So there you go. There's an answer to your question. Thurston R, there's your answer. Back off during the summer months. Makes sense. Thanks so much, Devin. Thanks for the assist. I appreciate you, sir. I still owe you that thing that we talked about. I still haven't sent it. I'm really bad. I got to get that done. I'm going to make it a point to get that done this weekend. I hate saying I'm going to do something, not getting it done when I say I'm going to get it done. So I got to get you taken care of. All right. Next up is Munaz78. He says, soil tests show I'm super low in nitrogen and iron, but fertilized about 2 weeks ago at 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds per 1,000 square feet for 1600. Okay. They recommended 5.5 pounds with a 1600 with iron. When should I apply? Okay. So you did this, you fertilized your super low, 3 weeks ago. And so I would give it a month. I would say if you fertilized 3 weeks ago, give it 4 weeks before you apply fertilizer again. So if you fertilize at the beginning of May, you could fertilize now. But if you fertilized, I don't know, whatever, 3 weeks ago, you fertilized the middle of May, then wait till the middle of June before you do your next application, Munoz. Now, here's the thing. If you under applied, so if they recommended 5.5 pounds and you did 2.5 pounds, you can certainly, what would I do for me? I'd do another application. You could do an application now, but I would make it light. So I would do maybe the same 2.5 pounds again. That's still slightly under what they recommend. But I would go again now, and then whenever the interval comes for you to do your next application, go at the full 5.5 pound rate, or you could just wait until another week or two and then just do the same fertilizer at 5.5 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Either way works. If you fertilize now, back the rate off. That's all I'm saying. Don't go out there and throw 5.5 pounds of the 1600 now, given that you've already put some nitrogen down. Guys, it's looking good. Stick around because we've got 3 more minutes and they have not, I don't see either one of those guys in the live stream as yet, neither Chris nor Jairus. I haven't seen either of them. So they may not win. And I actually should also say, Advion has to be in the comments. So if you just say, "Hey, Ron, I'd love to share your content," I appreciate that, but that you have to have Advion in the in your comments. I'm not sure if the first one, I didn't check to see that, but I'll check it now. Must have Advion in the comment for it to be entered to win. All right, next up is Jared. That's for me. That's for Bend Over. And then next is Demir. He says, "Been a while, but looking forward to some turf talk. Your lawn is looking fire on." Yeah, Devin, if you've not been following the channel, man, I got some new hardware. Check this out, man. I got the C227 Evolution, a proper commercial mower. I mean, not the Greensmaster isn't, but I guess a commercial mower that allows me to do other stuff in addition to just mowing, verticutting and turf raking and all that fun stuff. So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, man, there's gonna be more content on it. Still got to get you back on the live stream at some point. Yeah, let me know when you got some time. You gotta let me know some time when you're free. All right, next up is Luis Rodriguez. He says, "Congrats on the new mower. I appreciate it, Luis. Thank you so much." And then LG says, "I'm not buying Allett until Ron Henry gets a 59% royalty." Oh, you're probably never buying an Allett then. There's no way that's going to happen. They might, you know what? If you guys buy enough mowers, they might send me a T-shirt. I might hit them up. I might bug them and say, "Hey, what does it take to get like some Allett swag? Can I get like a hat or, a shirt or something? Maybe a little polo." I have to hit up Roland and see what it would take to make that happen. You probably tell me, "Hey, we have a store. You can buy them, like the mower. You can buy it." That's probably what I'm going to get told. All right. LG saying LG celebrates 6 months of membership. That's awesome. LG, it's pretty awesome, dude. I appreciate that, guys. So what LG is referring to is, as being a channel member, some of the benefits are you get access. There's not a ton of benefits, but it's a way for you to regularly support the channel if you so desire. And it's a way for you to also get access to some of the custom emojis. Like there's 4 of them that look like this, and this. If you care, there's like the emojis that only channel subscribers or channel members get access to. I think it's like $5 a month is like one level, and it goes up multiple tiers. But if you want to support the channel, that's a way to do it as well. In addition to like super chats and buying stuff from the Golf Course Lawn store and just being here. That's another option. But I appreciate it, LG. 6 months, pretty awesome. Okay, guys, we are at 9:32. So you know what that means? We are going back. We are going back to the drawing. Chris did not come in, and I'm looking here. I don't see him. I do not see him. All right, so next up for a tub of Advion, I'll show you guys real quick here. Your chance to win this, a 2-pound jug of Advion Fire Ant Bait, is Brett Young. Actually, no, great video. Thanks. Brett does not qualify because you see here, there's no Advion in the comments, so that does not count. Our next winner is, nope, Ron Henry and those big heads. Nope, not Jimmy Has, so that didn't count. We've got Rob Miller. Rob, are you present? I think you are present, Rob. I think you are present. You asked me a question tonight. Rob's probably like, "Yeah, I won." He's probably throwing down over there wherever he is. So Rob, if you are present still, which I think you are, you will have won one of these. If you don't mind, send me an email here, ron@golfcourselawn.com, with your address, the mailing address of where you want this to go. I will do my best to get it out tomorrow morning for you. I'm thinking, can I get it tomorrow morning? I should be able to. Yeah, I'll try to do my best to get this out tomorrow morning for you. Because I got a top dress tomorrow morning, but I'll figure it out. I'll either take it or I'll get someone to take it for me to the post office. So either way, it'll get shipped. So Rob, you are winner number one. I think you're still here. So if you don't mind, send a just let me know, and also put send me an email with your mailing address. So that's one. One of them is accounted for, assuming that Rob answers. Let's see, assuming he didn't leave. I didn't see him answer as yet or respond as yet. All right, and for the second tub, so Rob is one of them. For the second one, let's go back and just do that real quick before we get to more questions. The second person to win the second tub of Advion is Cody. Nope, Cody is making a comment on the video. That was not about the entering to win. So it is Andrew with a long comment, but that's not about Advion. Doesn't have Advion in it, so that doesn't count. And then perpetual student. Nope. So guys, if we keep this going, one of you guys is gonna win. Shale Bennett, can't wait to get back barefoot. She bought it, but she didn't have Advion in the comments. So Red Array, I can't believe. Oh, well, let me see. Do I have Advion Black End? So Red Array, we will take that one. We'll count that one. I've never seen you in the live stream, but so you're probably not gonna. I'm not sure if you're gonna be present to win, but we'll give you 5 minutes Red Array. And also, Rob Miller, you have like a few minutes to chime in and say that you're here. Because I know you were here earlier, but I need you to say that you're here now, or we're going to have to redraw yours. So those two are spoken for currently, but stick around, guys. I haven't seen them right back in the chat as yet. Rob may have gotten his answer about like fertilizer and then left for the evening. So make sure, stick around to your chance to win. Because I'm doing two of these. I'm going to do not one, but two 2-pound jugs of Advion Fire Ant Base. Awesome stuff. It's like literally my favorite ant insecticide. Okay, next up is where was I? Maxi says, I care about the stickers. Yes, so he definitely wants me to keep including stickers. We'll do it. And then Ben Dover says, dude, I can't even lie. I don't like electric equipment, but gosh dang, those stripes and the fact that they have a 3-battery setup has to be respected. That was the big thing for me, Ben, is that I thought I'm going to be out here with this thing and every 5 minutes I'm going to have to be pulling over and charging batteries and all this headache. And because that's the thing for me. When I want to mow, I want to mow. I don't want to have to stop and take breaks and all this kind of stuff. Like with my gas powered equipment, like I can mow 3, maybe 4 times before I have to put gas in the Greensmaster. And the C27, the Evolution, is pretty much the same way. I get between 3 and 4 passes over the entire lawn before I have to recharge it, which is awesome. So yeah, the 3-battery setup, good job, Allett, on that. And away we go. Let's see. I don't see either of those guys. I don't see Rob or Red Array. Let's go back. We'll draw it again. Rob, you got to be present to win. Got to be present to win. If you snooze, you lose. All right. So going back here for the Advion Fire Ant Bait for tub 1. Higgy Pop, are you in? Well, that's just a thanks. It's a thumbs up. That's not an actual thing with an Advion comment. Nope. Ergo, this is just a regular comment on the video. And then Tim Jackson, are you present? If you are here, you are in to win one of the tubs of Advion Fire Ant Bait. Rob went away, and the other one, and Red Array went away. So you're in to pick one up. So hang out for that if you or chime in saying I'm here if you are here. You guys just keep hanging out. One of you guys is gonna walk away with it at this point. Okay, next up is Brian Vajan. He says, doing a backyard renovation, what would you pick? I'm between Celebration or Tahoma 31. I like Celebration, but Tahoma 31 is getting a lot of love these days, Brian. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think either one of them will work well. Either one will work well on your lawn. They both look great. You ask the lawn tools, they love Tahoma 31. That's the new hotness, right? So I would almost say that if you didn't care either way, leaning more towards Tahoma 31 is probably not a bad bet, considering it's got newer technology, more development has been done on it. So I might try that. And you said you're in South Carolina, planning on real mowing at 3/4 of an inch to an inch, full sun, no shade, 3 kids, 1 big lab. Thanks. Yeah, so it's, either one will work. I would, because I like to try out new stuff, I'd probably say, as much as I love Celebration, maybe it's a Home of 31. Maybe it's a Home of 31. Either one will work, though. Either one was going to work fine. Okay, next up is, and Maxi, I saw you commented. Well, it's actually too late now because you had to do it before. So I have to reset to, even if you comment now, it's not going to work because the comment picker like gets the people now. It's already pulled them, so it's not going to add any more after the fact. All right, Josh Habib says, celebrates 5 months of membership. Looking for my Allett coupon code over here at LG. There is an Allett coupon code, guys. You can save $100 off of a mower. I will tell you what it is if you guys care. Let's see here. I'll give you the Q. I can save you a little bit of money off of an Allett if you want to do that. Not a ton, like $100, I think is what it is. If you go to Allett store, and when you go to checkout, if you use the coupon code GCL100, so I'll put that in the chat since you guys asked. So Allett coupon code. Use GCL100 at checkout. It'll save you, I believe it's $100 off the price of the mower, which is good. Every little bit helps, right? So use that, and away you go. Use that code. It'll save you a bit of money. Okay, next up is Thomas Roybal. He says, I have mushrooms growing in my tall fescue. How do I get rid of them? I live in Connecticut. So that's, I'm not gonna be able to answer that one, Thomas. I mean, as far as mushrooms in my lawn, it's not something that I ever really try to get rid of. When they start growing, they're around, in most cases for me, until 9-10 o'clock in the morning. As soon as it gets warm, they die off. So, if they're still there when I go out and mow, I just run over them with the mower. So I don't really, proactively try to get rid of mushrooms in my lawn. It's a sign actually of pretty healthy soil. So I wouldn't be so quick to go out there and try and eliminate them. So I don't have a better answer for you, but that's not something that I personally try and get rid of in my lawn. Okay, guys, neither of them have applied. Tim Jackson hasn't come in. Rotary hasn't come in. So let's go back and we'll draw again while I look for the next question. All right, so Tim is not here to answer. Our next winner number 6 of Advion Fire and Bait is Donald McFarland. He says, hey, Ron, please send me some Advion. I need it here in Warner Robins, Georgia. I'd love to, Donald. Are you here? If you are, you have to say in the chat that, hey, I'm here. So I know that, I've only got one more to give away, and then send me your address. So I'll give you like 5 minutes or so to chime in and say, yep, I'm here, and do that. And we'll get this sent out to you. And let's see. Next up is LG. Oh, that's a good point. So LG says, yeah, Acclaim herbicide will cheat Japanese stilt grass in coolseason lawns and zoysia. Okay, that's good to know. Good to know, LG. I didn't know that Acclaim was labeled for treating Japanese stilt grass. Is it going to kill it or just or is it just going to suppress? What is it labeled to do? I know that Acclaim is also one of those herbicides that is slated or is labeled to remove Bermuda, common Bermuda. It's supposed to target common Bermuda, but I've never gotten a straight answer on whether it only applies to common or if it'll also ding hybrid as well. I'm inclined to think it would, but thanks for that, LG. If Acclaim will do it, that's good to know. So for cool season lawns and zoysia, take a look at Acclaim. Make sure you read the label if you're going to go that route, obviously, but read the label, and if that'll do the trick, give it a go. All right, next up is a super chat from Mr. Lance F. He says,
Super chat received.
Ron, can having too much iron in my lawn cause dark blue blotchy patches? Yes. Patches are spreading and the color is not even. Yeah, so too much iron, especially if you didn't spray it evenly, will cause, so at first it's going to get really, really dark green, and then it will, I say it gets like a dark, to my eye, like a dark purple. So people say black, but it will get dark, like dark purplish or almost black in extreme examples. It sounds like in your case, you did a heavy iron app and it wasn't perhaps applied evenly over the entire lawn. So the areas that you're seeing that are darker blue and blotchy are the areas where you went a bit heavier. Nothing to really worry about. In a couple of weeks, it's going to go away. It'll begin, the effects will begin falling off, and the lawn cover, the balance of color in the lawn will be restored. It's highly unlikely to do any permanent harm to it. It's just you have to just look at it for a couple of weeks until the that wears off, till the effects wear off. Okay, guys, we still don't have any takers. We don't have any takers right now. Donald McFarland, I haven't seen him come in. Let's go back again to draw again. Come back here to draw again. Let us see. So no Donald McFarland. Next up we have, I'm going to end up keeping my my tub of Advion. Next up we have Steven Dmitriev. That's not that. That's not Advion. That's not the thing. And then next is Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison says, give me my Advion. Tony, if you are here, you got 5 minutes to comment in the chat saying that you are here. And then you can send me your mailing address and I will get the tub off to you. Get it off to you. So we'll stand by for a few minutes, give you a second to come in and say, yep, it's me. And we'll get it on its way. All right, next up as far as questions is Lon Struzel says, I just confronted the dog pee owner. She was with her dog. She got defensive and said, hopefully you were nice with the way you confronted her. You do one that says, I was talking to Ron, and Ron said that your dog is peeing on my lawn, and I'm going to tell you about it. Hopefully you didn't go about it that way. Hopefully you were nice. You said, hey, please be, don't let your dog pee on my lawn. And she got defensive and she said, are you saying those spots are because of my dog? I responded, no, and was polite the entire time. But, I mean, if they were, you got to say yes. Hang on. I'm sure I'm reading this right. So the dog pee owner was there. She got defensive and she asked, are you saying those spots are because of my dog? I responded no and was polite the entire time. But why would you not say yes? Because if her dog is peeing in the lawn and it's burning the grass, then her dog is doing it. So, you're halfway there. If at least I'm reading this correctly, you should have said yes and said, if you wouldn't mind, because I don't want my lawn to be damaged, could you please let Fluffy or Fido or Beatrice pee somewhere else so I don't, it doesn't damage my grass? You could just go that way. And you said, I asked her to please avoid my lawn as she was turning around. I think she may have been embarrassed. Now I fear retaliation. Nah, she'd be fine. I mean, here's the thing. That's why you need to be really nice about it whenever you talk to people, because a lot of times they don't know. They don't know that their dog can cause that kind of damage. And as long as you're really nice about it, again, the way I would go about it is say, hey, listen, I know you probably don't know this, but your dog, urinating in my lawn is really damaging the grass. You see these spots here where it's damaged? If there's any way you could have them not do their business on my grass. I'm really trying to grow it to be nice. And, when they do this, it damages it, takes, 3 to 4 weeks to recover. If you can have them go somewhere else, I'd really, really appreciate it. So that way you're giving them an out. You're assuming that they're not just super evil people that are trying to destroy your lawn. And she's probably fine. I don't think you're bad off, man. I think you're going to be okay. I won't worry about it. All right. Donald McFarland, I saw you. You're here. Okay, Donald McFarland. She says, oh my God, Ron. All right. So Donald and Tony are here. Okay, good. All right, cool. So Tony Harrison and Donald McFarland. We have our winners, looks like. You're lucky because Donald, you're lucky because I'm about to draw again. And then you'd have been like, oh man, I tried and I waited all week and I didn't win it. So, okay, so you two are my winners. Let me put a star next to each of you guys. Be sure, if you guys don't mind, send me an email here, ron@golfcourselawn.com, with your mailing address, and I will get these out in the mail. So Tony and Donald, send me your pictures. Wait for it, guys. LG's going to write something in there talking about how unfair life is. Just give it time. I know it's going to happen. He always does at these giveaways. Entertainment for me, right? All right, next up is Ned G. Says, what's up, Ron? Everyone, I'm doing well, man. Getting used to the new toy, having fun with it, but everything is going pretty well. I cannot complain. Grasshopper Lawn Care is here, saying good evening, everyone. And then next up, we have a new viewer, Tom American, says, first-time viewer, thanks for the content. You're very, very welcome. Welcome to the craziness that is the Lawn Care live stream, and you are in New England, Massachusetts. Thanks for coming to hang out, Tom American. Appreciate it. Naaman Washington says, thank you for the great information. It's taking me a lot of time. Great channel and awesome detailed information. Thanks, sir. That's what I aim for. I don't always get it right, but I appreciate it when I do. A few times when I get it right, I appreciate that you guys like it. So thanks so much. Next up, we have Humaz. He says, is it a bad idea to compost to thin areas, to add compost to thin areas? Some grass just not spreading as fast. Soil gets dry really fast in Arizona. No, that's something I would do. So I've used carbonized PN on some thin spots in my lawn, and that does help the grass to fill in that area a bit faster because it makes the soil in that area like supercharged, makes it really, really rich, and the grass is like, give me some of that, and it spreads towards it. I would not do like a heavy top dress or anything, but as far as like a nice light, addition of compost or something like carbonized PN, that I don't see a problem with that as well. It can't hurt. It can only help Munaz 78. So that's something you can do. What I would not do is throw a bunch of nitrogen at it. So yes, that's a good idea. All right, next up is Robert Rainey says, was Alex bringing out his clubs in that short video? No. He wasn't bringing out his clubs. I think he was. I think he had the blower. It looked like clubs, golf clubs, but he had the combi. He was out there cleaning up and blowing off grass clippings and stuff. So that's what he had. That's what he had. It looks like it, but no. So you're talking about this video here where you can see the stripe action of the C27. This one here. Yeah, so there is audio, but I have it turned off for the live stream. But what he's carrying there, if you look right now, yeah, you can see it. That is the combi system. It's the blower, not golf clubs. Not golf clubs. We're not so brave to hit golf balls off of the turf yet, man. We love it too much. Okay, Hitambo says, I believe the Allett C27E 84 decibels and the Sterling 9 decibels. So there you go. Yeah, so I want to say that if you look at the video that Allett has done on the Evolution, I want to say in that video they say it's their quietest mower yet. So it's even quieter than the Sterling. And I'll tell you guys, the Sterling is quiet. This thing literally, when you start it up, especially when you're just cutting grass with it, it's scary quiet. I mean, you literally can hear the grass being cut. All you hear is the clippings. You hear the reel literally just cutting the clippings. That's the only sound. Even it pulling off, you don't really. It's very, very quiet. So that 84 dB number, I believe it. Absolutely believe that number. All right. Next is Dwayne Hopkins says, "Hey Ron, congrats on the new beast of a mower. Everyone, can we clap it up for Ron? Yeah, we'll clap it up for him. We can do that. Sure, why not? Yay! Yay for the new mower." All right, Dalvin Lara. Yep, it was me. Yes, it was Dalvin. See, so guys, when I was talking to you guys about the seed heads, the person that when we were having the conversation about seed heads in your lawn, and I was telling him all season for like at least a month, 6 weeks, hey man, get a soil test because right now it's got to be a nutrient deficiency. That's the only thing that could be causing this problem. And it took him forever, and he finally got one, and then we found out that his NPK were low, and then we corrected that, and then it corrected the problem. So if you have seed heads in your lawn and they've been sticking around for more than 3 weeks, and you've been putting some water on it, you've been mowing it, you've been taking care of it, then it's likely a nutrient problem. Especially if after 3 weeks they're still coming in at full force, they're not beginning to taper off or anything. Then that's when I would start looking at figuring out what's going on in the soil. All right, Dalvin. So see, even though you had that problem, now you're famous. We can always use your example as why it's important to soil test. All right, next up is Melly Mel. Says, "Hey Ron, I applied Turfplex on May 23rd and will reapply on June 8th. That sounds about right. I also put down certainty and Celsius mix for the remaining POA this Tuesday. Soil test is the next step. Wish me luck." Okay, so you shouldn't have POA in your lawn this time of year, Melly Mel, unless you're further north than I am and it's still kind of cool. Like POA should be pretty much dying off or dead at this point. If you still have it where you are, then yes, certainty will certainly get rid of it. And again, if you're only targeting POA, again, wherever you happen to be, I guess maybe somewhere further north, if you're only targeting POA, save the Celsius. There's no reason to use it. Like, use just a certainty for that. Certainty is the one that really targets the POA. Celsius is for your broad leaves and everything else. So Celsius, I don't believe, targets POA annua. So if all you care about is POA, then save the certainty, is the Celsius because it's an expensive product, and just only use the certainty. That's the product that does the sedges and POA. So hope that helps. All right, next is Dwayne Hopkins. Dwayne is back. Actually, first we have a super chat from Cedric G. Let me get it real quick. I need to speed up because I'm going slow. Cedric G, super chat. Yeah.
Super chat received.
He's Big Ron. I see you got a new toy in your stable. I feel sorry for the GM 1600. It's going to be gone like Milo. Make sure you give it a good video send off like you did for Milo. I don't think the GM, the 1600 is going anywhere just yet, Cedric. I don't think so just yet, because for a slope, I will tell you, unless I get better at it, like the GM is way easier on a slope than on my slope anyway, than the Evolution is right now. Again, I'm still getting used to it, but it's just the mower is so big that you really got to plan your stripes. You got to plan like your turns. You got to plan ahead. But when you're going at it on a slope with that more so than the Greensmaster. So the GM might still be on slope duty, man. It still might be on front lawn duty, right? Fair or not. And thanks for the super chat. I think you have the highest super chat of the evening right now, as that makes you the show sponsor. So thanks so much for that. Don't think the GM is going away just yet. So don't get too happy. Don't get too happy. All right, I got to speed up a little bit. Got to get through some more comments. We have a question from Dwayne Hopkins. He says, I do mow at a slightly lower height of cut, but can imagine that would change how good it looks. It's just not filling in and still dormant in some spots. I have really hot days, so it can't be weather related. That's interesting, Dwayne. So if some of your lawn is still dormant even now, that's weird, man. Have you been fertilizing it as yet? I mean, you can't answer me, but I mean, things I would try or look into is, if you've not started fertilizing as yet, definitely get that done. Maybe consider doing a soil test to see like what's missing and fertilize accordingly. But really, if there's enough water on it and you're mowing it, there's really no reason why most of your lawn should be in dormancy right now. That just, I mean, again, assuming you're like in the southeast, that shouldn't be the case. Really shouldn't be. So try those things I was telling you about, and let us know what happens. Joanne Lapron Joanne is in the house. She says, JoJo's in the house. She says, hope we get some rain in Georgia tonight. I hope so. Is it in the forecast? Joanne, let's see. What does this say? What do the forecast say? It does not say rain in the forecast for me, not for the next, no, not in my area anyway. I know you guys are on 5 or 6 miles from here, so maybe you're going to get rain, but not over here. Not over here. All right, next up is Jackie Bear. He says, what's up, Ron? What's going on, Jackie Bear? Thanks for coming to hang out in the live stream. And then Demir says, no worries about the stuff. Need to get back on soon. Crazy busy with work and getting the current house packed and sold. Once it's all wrapped up, the schedule will be wide open and get back on. Nice. Good to go. That's good to go. Devin, I hear you. So let's get a lot going on. But once you have a few minutes to get on the live stream, then let me know. It'll be a great time. Always good to have you on. Okay, Salvador says, what's everyone using for boots when you spray your lawn? I'm just using some inexpensive boots from Home Depot, like a set of rubber boots. Mainly not because I really need to use them, but I got tired of my tennis shoes getting discolored and black from like all the stuff I spray on the lawn all the time. So just some inexpensive rubber boots are what I'm going with. There's probably some better ones you can get, but I mean, the ones that I'm using so far have worked pretty well for me. So just get some either on Amazon or one of the big box stores. Should be just fine. Should be just fine. Michael Robinson says, wasn't Advion made by DuPont a few years ago? I don't know. I don't think so. As long as I've been using it, which is, I mean, it hasn't been that long. It's been 5 years or so. It's been by Syngenta. So maybe that's changed, but to my knowledge, it's always been Syngenta. I mean, there's a product called I forget I'm drawing a blank on what the name of it is. There's like Delta Guard. That's done by someone else, but that's not Advion. I think so. I believe it's always been Syngenta, but I could be wrong. Okay, Kevin Brewster says, great show as always. I'm crying about your Allett. It's beautiful. It's in the works for me real soon. Nice, Kevin. So you're gonna go for an Allett too? Very nice. Very nice. All right, let's see here. Gary Kellett Jr. says, Ron, can you say, Molly, let Gary join the Lawn Academy? I will say this. Yes, I will say, Molly, hang on. I will go to this sounds important, Gary, so we'll go to the main camera. Molly, if you can find it in your heart to let Gary join the Lawn Academy, it'd be a wonderful thing. Here's the thing. He gets access to all the content, all the modules, the training modules that are in there. He gets access to the Facebook group, the private Facebook group, which has a bunch of other lawn care crazies in there that we help each other out, help us improve our lawns. So he says there's camaraderie to help improve the quality of the lawn, which helps your lawn become the envy of the neighborhood. And then currently live Academy members, they get a discount on certain products in the store. So there's actually a way for it to pay for itself. So there's even that, right? So for all those reasons and more, I think you should really consider letting Gary join the Golf Course Lawn Academy. How's that, Gary? Is that gonna work? You think is that gonna? I mean, I tried my best, man. Best I could do. Hopefully she lets you sign up. All right, next up is Edwin O. He says, "Hey Ron, just had a nice thunderstorm come through Northwestern Hills in Texas. We haven't had that in Georgia. Celebration is happy. Now mosquitoes coming for sure. Have you ever made a video on spray treating? Thoughts? Congrats. Hit that like." Yes, Edwin. As a matter of fact, I have made a video on products for mosquitoes, and that it's good for mosquitoes, whiteflies, a lot of just like lawn pest type insects. And that is the video that I did on the Miramichi Green pest control. This is an awesome product. This product takes care of mosquitoes, gnats, whiteflies, what else? Roaches, ants, fleas, chinch bugs, ticks, aphids. So a lot of stuff. And it's non-toxic. So you can apply this stuff literally. It smells kind of like, if you ever use like lemon pledge, it smells like a lighter version of that. So it actually smells kind of nice. But you can apply that literally. You can spray it on shrubs, on your lawn patio furniture, on tables, along outdoor. Like you spray it everywhere. And then as soon as it dries, you can re-enter the area. So it's not really, I shouldn't say you re-enter the area. It's more so that if you don't want to have it, get it on your clothes, wait for it to dry. But the stuff isn't toxic. It's not going to, it's safe for different pets, kids, all that kind of stuff. It's a non-toxic product. I can't every way to say it. The way you can find out about it, if you're interested, is here on the Golf Course Lawn Store. I'll just take you home from here and go to shop, and then Miramichi Green Biostimulants. Even though it's not a biostimulant, it's right here under the pest control, Miramichi Green Pest Control. I've had a lot of really good feedback on this product. I mean, I like it. Alex and I have been using it. We've had great results with it, but also from viewers and other customers have had really good feedback on it. So check this out. We carry it on the store. If you're still not convinced, you're like, you know what, Ron, I need more. I need details. I'll link the video here in the chat that I did on said product that explains why it is awesome. If I can find it. Here we go. Yep. So I'll put a link here that you can watch in case you haven't seen it. Edwin. It was from last season at Edwin O. That is the non-toxic pest control video. And I'll also, for anyone that's watching this after the show ends, like you're watching it tomorrow or replay later on, I'll also have a link to that in the description of this live stream. So if you were watching this tomorrow, just look in there and there'll be a link in there for the non-toxic pest control too. So hope that helps, Edwin. Apply that really every 3 weeks. I like using a fogger to apply it. It covers more area if you use a fogger, and it makes it easier for applying it to the side of homes or like your furniture, patio stuff. I would get a fogger in the same product description on the Golf Course Lawn Store. There's the fogger that we recommend using, so you can check that out and go from there. Hope that helps. All right, let's see. Frederick Carney says, "Everyone you're choosing commented 7 days ago." Yeah, so when I fired up the comment picker, Frederick, I'm not sure whenever you joined, but it is randomized. But from the time I say select, right, go and find, pull the comments from this video. At that point, it's locked in. So if you commented earlier this evening, like if you commented before 9:20, you were in there. You were in that pool. It's just that it's randomized. I mean, I can actually show you. We can keep going. We can actually go through it a little bit. I'm not sure if you were a commenter, but let's see. We can actually do a couple of these and see if you pop in. So let's see. Ogsan, Ultra Green. Yeah. So let's see. Rob Skinner, Ray Skinner, Donna. I'm trying to see if you pop in, Frederick. I'm not sure if you are in. If you commented on that video, remember the comment is not on the live stream. It's on the ant video. So I'm gonna see if I find you in here. Let's see. I don't see you. I'm gonna keep going. I'll do a couple more and see if you pop up. I Actually, you guys don't want to see me do this, but I'll do a few more. If you, I'll tell you what, at the end of the show, if you want to see me go through the rest of these, we can do that. LG, there you are. So you're Frederick Carney, and there you are. See, so you were in there. You were in there to win. It's just that it's randomized. It does not pick them in order. It doesn't go through it in order. It's just whoever's in the pool, it randomly goes through and grabs them, and then you just happen to be the one that the app didn't pick. So it is randomized. Just so everyone knows that there's no funny business. Literally, if you did comment prior to 9:20, that you were in there, you had a shot at winning. Okay, next up is Luis Rodriguez, and he's saying Tahoma 31 is just a slight more cold tolerant as it was just developed in OSU. So there you go. So if you want a little bit more cold tolerance, then Tahoma 31 is your jam. That's the way to go. And you're very, very welcome, Edwin. That's what I'm here for, to help out. So I'm glad that you're finding some value in the show. So thanks so much for hanging out with that. Let's see. So Luis Rodriguez saying, so dormancy is delayed a bit, and depending on cultural practices, earlier spring green up. So it sounds kind of like Arden 15 that's in a sod, right? In the sense that it goes dormant sooner and comes out of dormancy, goes dormant later and comes out of dormancy sooner. So sounds like a really cool grass, Luis. I mean, again, it's a newer cultivar, and you figured you'd like to think that they put a lot of research into it, and that what they release is not going to be worse than existing Bermuda variants. So celebration is great, but I mean, I it's definitely worth giving Tahoma a look. The lawn tools seem to really, really like it. Okay, Salvador is up next. He says, I've seen a few people mentioning they wish they'd covered their sprinkler heads before lawn leveling. Is sand really a problem? Yes, it is. What's the best way to protect sprinkler heads? Yeah, so you absolutely do want to cover your sprinkler heads before leveling, because the sand will get down in there. The grit will get down in the sprinkler heads, and it will ruin them. It'll ruin them. I mean, it will. They'll get gritty. They won't cycle or spin as freely anymore. So you absolutely want to cover your sprinkler heads with something. What I use are like dog frisbees. So like these little rubberized frisbees you can get on Amazon. I'm just, I can find it here. I think I've got it in the description, but maybe not. If not, I can find it. I can get it. I can just, yeah, I do. Here we go. Top dressing frisbees. Let me see. In the description of that video that I actually showed doing that, Salvador, in there you can find these guys. So, yep. So here we go. So let me link it in the chat for you first. So take care of that. Thing one is get you what you asked for, which is, I call them top dressing frisbees, but they're really just dog frisbees. They're like rubber dog frisbees. So at Salvador, there we go. And there's the top dressing dog frisbees. And what those look like is this. So I'll show you what I'm talking about in case maybe you can find them somewhere locally. Or you don't feel like, buying it off of Amazon. So if we go look here, this is what they look like. They come in like a 6-pack. Well, they used to be a 6-pack. I guess now a 4-pack. They come in a pack now of these, so order a couple of them, and it looks like they're currently sold out, but I guess you can find others. Just use that link, and then you can click on maybe like this one, 15-pack of silicone frisbees. Same kind of thing. Like, there you go. You can get one of those and use these. I put these over the lawn to cover the sprinkler heads, and it does a great job because you can run over them with a top dressing machine. You can run over, and there's no issue with running over them, and you can get sand all over them. There's no problem. And then once you're done with your top dressing, you just take them up, shake them off, and then you have this nice little circle donut where your sprinkler head was, and and there's no sand down in there. So you absolutely do want to do that. You do want to do that. Or you're going to be buying sprinkler heads next year. So there is that too. So I would absolutely protect them. They're not that expensive, and it takes like 2 minutes to do. So I would consider doing that. You're very, very welcome, Thomas. I'm glad I was helpful. Yeah, so Salvador says, mark them with a flag and then avoid them. So yeah, you can do that too. You can also do a flag. You can use the flag approach, put flags in the ground, and then don't spread any top dressing mix over them. But if you're using a machine like how we were using in that video, it's easier just to have them completely covered, and that way it doesn't really matter, right? You can just throw sand everywhere, work it in, and then once you're done, you remove them, and the sprinkler heads are still in great shape. And Salvador says, to be specific, people said sand in the head was causing them to stick. Yes, that's definitely a thing. It's definitely a thing. And the reason why I know it's a thing is I've lived it. Like, I had to replace sprinkler heads last year, not due to the top dressing from last year, but due to the top dressing from previous seasons. And in the front lawn, there's still some sprinkler heads that I need to replace. I did one of them already, but the other ones I'll just probably wait until the lawn is dormant to do those. I don't feel like digging up the lawn and making it look ugly right now. So I just get out there and there's one of them. I just rotate it. I just clock it to where I want it to spray, and then I'll wait for a few minutes and I'll clock it and then let it spray that cycle in that section. And the next time I run irrigation, I'll clock it and have it spray in another section. So yes, cover your sprinkler heads if you don't want to have to do that, or replace them. Or have to replace them. So congrats again, guys. So remember, Tony Harrison and Donald McFarland, email me your mailing address, and I will get the Advion on its way out to you. Okay, let's see. Let's see who else we have here. What are the questions we have as we start to wind down? Rick H. is in the house. He says, new Empire Zoysia lawn laid in November, a bit uneven, and so I tend to scalp certain areas when using my rotary mower. Was told better to not mow a lot, which leaves lower areas longer. I disagree with that. I would not say, I mean, I would mow frequently, but I would just raise the mower up. So I agree that you don't want to scalp. You definitely don't want to scalp the lawn, but I would continue to mow. I would mow frequently, twice a week is what I would say is minimum. But just raise the mower, raise your height of cut a little bit to where you don't scalp the lawn you don't scalp the turf in those uneven areas. That would be my recommendation, Rick, because there's so many benefits to mowing. Like it stimulates new growth. It's a great thing to do for your grass because literally, fertilizing important, like biostimulants important. Like all these things help improve soil quality, help put nutrients into the soil that help you get, and the byproduct is green grass, right? So by fertilizing and using the biostimulants and doing all those types of things, watering enough, you're going to get green grass. But if you want the lawn to look nice, what you're looking at when you see a lawn that looks like this, like how my lawn looks, yes, it gets spoiled with as far as biostimulants go and the feeding program that it has. But the thing that this lawn gets more than any other lawn in the neighborhood, other than perhaps save Alex's lawn, is it gets mowed a lot. I mow more than anyone else in the neighborhood. I'm pretty certain that's a factual statement. So I would not follow the advice to mow your lawn less. I would just simply raise the height of cut, and then at some point, if you want to do it this season or next season, consider top dressing, even out or take some of the harshness out of those uneven areas. And then if you want to drop the height of cut down a little bit, then you're good to go. But I would not mow your lawn less. I would just mow your lawn taller versus mowing your lawn less. That would be my advice, Rick. And I'm glad you're learning a lot. Yep, I'm glad you're learning a lot. That's the whole point of the channel. Naomi, what's going on? She says, hey, happy Friday. What's going on? Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for coming to hang out in the live stream. And Dalvin is up next. He says, what can I use to kill centipede and not Bermuda? I want to create a border between my lawn and my neighbors. I want to say quinclorac will do that. I want to say centipede is sensitive to quinclorac, but let me check the label here really super quick. Dalvin, I believe that's correct. Yeah, exactly. So don't spray it on Bahia, Colonial, Seaside, Bentgrass, St. Augustine, Dichondra, and centipede grass. So at higher rates, especially if you use a surfactant or a MSO, a methylated seed oil, it will damage and/or kill the centipede while still being safe for the Bermuda. And if you don't have that and you want to get some of it, then I've got you covered with a link here if you feel like supporting the channel. It doesn't cost you anymore, but it's a free way for you to help out. So there you go. So just apply it, read the label, obviously, and then find out what rate, maybe a slightly higher rate that's still safe for the Bermuda, but will damage the centipede if that is what you're after. Well, that's what you're after. All right, CER says, hey, the thing to keep the owners and their dogs is a thing called a hoont. It goes off when anything breaks the barrier, the perimeter with a light spray. My neighbor is now going the other side of the road. You can do that, but that's it's a little bit antagonistic, man. I don't know if you can, but I would ask them first, because that, you might get some blowback from that. You get the wrong neighbor, the wrong person walking their dog. These days, people can be a little crazy, man. You might want to. I would ask first before we start taking aggressive actions, like spraying them or doing anything like that. It's my advice. All right, next up is Dean Heald. He says, thanks for doing this, Ron. Love your advice. I appreciate it, Dean. Thank you so much for being here and watching. So I have someone to talk to. I'd be just talking to myself. Then that would not be fun, you know. Randy is here next. He says, I have Bermuda seed heads for over a month now. I water, I fertilize, I apply PGR. I mow 3 times a week at 1/2 inch height of cut. And yes, I applied iron to combat the PGR haze. So here's what I would say, Randy. So it's been a month. Is it beginning to fall off? Or are the seed heads just as bad as they've always been? Because what tends to happen is they ramp up and there's like a week or 10 days or so where they're really bad, where it's like you look at some lawns and all you see are seed heads. And then what should happen is they should begin, kind of like they ramped up, they should begin ramping down where they become less and less and less. So I know you still have them, but I'd say, are they beginning to fall off? Because if they are, then just give it a bit more time and see. You say it's been a month. Normally, it really shouldn't be that long. Shouldn't take that long. But let's say, give it another couple of weeks. Let's say we are in June now, the beginning of June. If by the middle of June, see if there's not an improvement, because it sounds like you're doing a lot of the right things. You're fertilizing. I imagine you're fertilizing based on soil test results. You're not just throwing fertilizer down, because you want to make sure the fertilizer matches what the soil actually needs, or what the grass actually needs. So assuming that's correct, and you're watering enough, they should. I mean, they should begin to taper off. You know what I mean? So give it a bit more time. It sounds like you're doing all the right things, and just keep at it. It should get better here over the next week or two. All right, next is 2 Trillies. Says, have you seen the Yard Mastery Freedom Blend? It's 1776 or 1776. Would you recommend this over Flagship for spoon feeding? I would if you need phosphorus in your soil. If you don't need phosphorus, then I would not. If you need phosphorus, then that's a good option. If you don't need phosphorus, then don't use it. So that's the difference between the two, and the application rates would be obviously different. So the 1776, if you are using that in a spoon feeding program and your soil needs phosphorus, so it's the correct granular for your lawn, then in that case you would apply it at the 3 pounds per thousand that Yard Mastery recommends, because that's going to get you about 1/2 pound of nitrogen in your lawn, right? Thereabouts. If you are, but again, if you don't need phosphorus, don't use that fertilizer. Use Flagship instead of that. Okay, so hope that helps. 2 Trilla. I believe I have to look at the formulation. I believe the 1776 is also relatively quick release as well too. So assuming that's the case, then yeah, you're good to go as far as spoon feeding with it. Again, assuming your soil needs phosphorus. Next up is Carlos Bob. He says, how much water can I put down on Bermuda to make it grow aggressively? Water alone will not do that, Carlos. So the way to get your grass to grow aggressively is, if you think about like the whole system in general, right? Grass is a plant, and plants grow in dirt or soil, whatever you want to call it, right? So if you want to have a healthy stand of grass, you want the grass to grow aggressively, have great color, be disease resistant. You want to make the stuff that it's growing in as healthy as possible, or as to help match what the grass needs as closely as possible. So water is important, because grass needs water. It absolutely needs water. That is important. But fertilizing or making sure there's the right combination of nutrients in the soil is important. Biostimulants can also help. So things like Essential G, a lot of the carbonized and the carbon and biochar products that frankly we sell on the golf course lawn store, those can help as well. So it's a combination of things. There's not just one thing that makes you get green grass or causes Bermuda to grow aggressively. What you can do is this, right? If people will often make the mistake of thinking, hey, I can go out there and I can just throw down a really high nitrogen fertilizer. And yes, you can do that. And yes, the grass will respond and it'll begin growing, but it's not going to really look good. And as soon as you stop feeding it, as soon as you stop doing that, it's going to fall away really, really quickly, right? So you can take the Band-Aid approach, or you can play the long game, which is building a strong system, a strong biology in the soil, making sure you have enough nutrients to where, like, the grass growing aggressively and the grass being nice and a deep green is just a byproduct. Like you can't help for it to happen, if that makes sense. And then you're going to get to the point where it's going to be growing so well, you're going to need to use something like this, like plant growth regulator, to limit how well it's growing. So what I would suggest to you is, if you're really trying to get the lawn to thicken up, get a soil test done. It's literally some of the best $30. I mean, if you buy the one that has the probe, you only got to buy this one time. It's like the best $30 or $60 if you're buying the probe that you'll spend on your lawn. Literally, it's one of the best investments you can make. Get a soil test. Based on that, buy a fertilizer or a combination of fertilizers that fix the problems or that are addressing your problems or amending the issues that your soil has. If you do that and you couple that with enough water and regular mowing, you're going to get great looking grass. It's like it's impossible for it to not happen, assuming you got enough sunlight. That's the only thing that we didn't really cover in this. But assuming you have enough sunlight and you have great soil, you're putting a decent amount of water on it, you're going to get great looking grass. So water alone is not going to do it. Is what I'm trying to say. So if you want a grass that's resilient and that even after a lot of abuse and everything, it still looks good, build healthy soil. That's what you should focus on. All right. Next up is Donald. Dean is saying 1 inch per week, but yes, that's correct for Bermuda. About 1 inch of water per week. That's all you need. Doing more is not really going to do a lot more. I mean, yes and no. I should say this: if you are in a really hot climate like Arizona or desert or somewhere where it just gets really hot, you may have to apply more than 1 inch of water. But water alone is not enough to get great looking grass. It's your mowing, it's your other cultural practices, and it's most importantly like getting great soil. That's a huge part of it. Okay, next is Chris Hain. He says, any recommendations for a gas or electric blower? 1/3 of an acre. My DeWalt battery blower died, so I need something different. Thanks, Ron. Love the live stream, man. Okay, so I am partial to the tools from Stihl, right? Or Stihl or Steel or however you say it, however you pronounce it. Some people told me it's Stihl, so I'll say Stihl. I really like their stuff. Their combi system is pretty awesome. So I've never tried their battery powered power head, like you can get now. There's like an electric one. I don't know how well that works or what kind of runtime you get out of it, but the gas powered one is pretty awesome. Like I don't ever really feel like I don't have enough juice to be able to blow off like leaves or clippings or whatever I want to move around on the lawn. It gets the job done. If you have Alex's, which is the 131, it's the big blocks, the big boy, that one's even better. So I am a fan of that. The negative about the Stihl combi system is that it's expensive, right? You got to buy the power head and then you got to buy the various attachments. But if you're fine with that, then that is the route I would go. There are other blowers out there. I have not tested them. I can't really make a recommendation on other ones. I mean, there's blowers from a company. I think it's like Red Max. I've seen when I was out there doing research on blowers for a while. People used to talk about those quite a bit, but I've never used them to know if they're any good personally. Again, for me, my Stihl combi blower, the Stihl combi system gets it done for me. So if you need a string trimmer and rotary scissors and and a blower and everything else, like you want one tool and kind of be able to mix and match, then that's a great option. So hope that helps. So that's worked well for me, works well for Alex, and you can just decide from there which way you want to go. And then Donald McFarland says, I also have a fly problem. What is good for that? Yeah, the same thing. The pest control. Give the pest control a shot, Donald. I think you'll like that. You'll like that. All right, Todd's Real Lawn says, love the info. I'm glad to hear that, Todd. I'm glad it's helpful. And Frederick is now satisfied that he was in the drawing, just didn't get, the randomizer just didn't win. Salvador says, I was even close to winning. Exciting nonetheless. Thanks, Ron. We'll try to do more giveaways. I'll see if I can get some swag from folks. I know Miramichi Green last year gave some hats that you guys really liked. I'll see if I can ask them about doing that again. We'll see. But yes, you guys seem to like the giveaway, so we can do some more of that if you guys are into it. It kind of takes away from answering questions, but if you guys are fine with the little segues when we stop to go do the giveaways, I'm fine with doing that. So I will work on it. Got a super chat here from Melvin Otta. Thank you so much, Melvin.
Super chat received.
I appreciate the support. Thanks so much. Thanks for that. And I'm looking for the next question, guys. We are winding down. I kept saying tonight we might get it done in less than 3 hours, but I was wrong. Thin Cut says, as always, thanks for your advice. Very much appreciated. You're very, very welcome. Thin Cut, again, be sure to subscribe to the channel and watch the YouTube stories, because that's where you get to see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. That's not it's just me just talking a lot of times, showing cool stuff in the lawn, showing bad stuff in the lawn, showing, if you want to see the mower run before the big video comes out, that's how you're going to get to see it. So subscribe to the channel and check out the YouTube stories. All right, Jeffrey Robinson is up next. He says, hey, Ron, my Bermuda is now nice and healthy. Awesome. I'm not ready to lock it in with PGR. I have a Yard Mastery backpack sprayer. What color tip do I use? You want to use the, well, it should be the red tip, but there's should be the red foliar tip, which I can't get right now because I threw it over there. Actually, yeah, I can real quick. Hang on. Don't go anywhere. You can use this tip, this spray tip. This is the one that I use for foliar ash. If I can get it to focus, this guy, get some light on it. This one, the one that looks like this. So it's going to come with this one. It's going to come, I believe, with an air induction tip, and it's going to come with a flood jet tip, a white flood jet tip that looks like that. Do not use this one. Use the one that looks like this. You'll know, Jeffrey, because if you want to just test it out, whenever you begin spraying, just put water in the sprayer when you first get it, because you should calibrate the sprayer when you first to learn how to use it properly. And the spray pattern that's going to come out of this is going to be like a very, very fine mist. It's going to be like a fine mist in a triangle pattern. I think it's 110 degree spray pattern. Whereas this is going to look it's going to be also a diagonal pattern, but it's going to be, the droplet size is going to be a lot bigger, right? So you want to use the foliar tip. And to help you out, I've got a video on backpack sprayer calibration. If you've not watched that, it's worth the 5 minutes to watch it, because that single-handedly is going to make sure you get the best result possible out of your brand new sprayer. I mean, you spent the money on getting a sprayer. That's thing one. Now let's learn how to calibrate it, which again is not really complicated, and that's going to help you get, you're going to be able to apply your PGR properly, because now when you put down your growth regulator at, a quarter of an ounce, 0.25 ounces, apply your Primo at like right here. Well, this is too heavy. At 0.25 ounces. Yeah. So when you apply it at that rate, about there, it's a little bit heavy pour, but like about that, between 0.2 and 0.3, that's what you want to use with a gallon of water over 1,000 square feet. The way you'll know you're doing that properly is if you calibrate the sprayer, right? So watch this video whenever you get a chance at Jeffrey. Let's see, Jeffrey Robinson. That is the sprayer calibration video. So that's worth, again, a few minutes of your time to check out. Okay, next is Todd Gleaves. He says, Todd, what's going on, man? He says, I'm late to the program. Rain and wind be killing my lawn plans the past few weeks. So we'll keep the wind, but send some of that rain this way. We could use it, man. We need the rain out here in Georgia. Wind, yeah, no fun. Wind, no fun. Definitely makes like spray applications a pain to do. And yeah, Primo Max is using Jeffrey. So yeah, so if you're using Primo, what you're going to want to go with for your first time is, for hybrid Bermuda, you can apply at up to 0.38 ounces per 1,000 square feet. But the first time you do this, I don't want you to do that. I want you to go lighter. So where you need to be is right in about right. Oh, come on. I can do this live. I can do it right there. That looks pretty good. So half an ounce, so 0.25 ounces. So between 2 and 3, that's a quarter of an ounce of Primo. That is the rate for 1,000 square feet. So the way I do it is this, right? So what that means for a 4-gallon backpack sprayer, you're going to get 4,000 square feet of coverage, which means you're going to need a total of 1 ounce of Primo to cover 4,000 square feet. So let's just say magically you have a 4,000 square foot lawn, like, the stars of a line in your lawn is exactly 4,000 square feet. In which case, what you would do is you would take this and multiply it by 2. So for your first pour, you just get this all the way up to half an ounce, like that, right? That is enough for 2,000 square feet, 2 gallons of water, 2,000 square feet. Pour this in and then repeat that, another half an ounce, and you get to a total of 1 ounce with 4 gallons of water to cover 4,000 square feet. Does that make sense? So but remember, the rate per the label is 0.25 per 1,000 square feet for Bermuda. There are rates that are higher for common and also for hybrid. But for the first time, I want you to go low. Go low and work your way up, and you can see how the grass responds, how it does. The only other piece of advice I'd tell you, Jeffrey, and you probably already know this, but consider mixing some liquid fertilizer in along with the Primo. That's going to help prevent some of the temporary yellowing or tip burn that you can get when you apply that product. Turfplex is a good option. 901C with Nutrizolve is a good option. We have both those on the Golf Course Lawn Store. I think Turfplex might be sold out right now, but Release 901C with Nutrisolve, those are both in stock. That's a good option for using that. You can mix that with your Primo Max, and that is going to be that's a great option for preventing tip burn. That is exactly what I'm spraying on my lawn these days. Ever since the beginning of May, I've been spraying Primo and 901C and Nutrisolve and the rest of the carbon kit. So NutriKelp and the Biospectrum. So good stuff. Congrats on the sprayer, man. It's an awesome bit of kit. You said, okay, my Bermuda's not nice and healthy. I want half rate for 13,000 square foot front lawn. How many ounces per tank? This is my first use. You want to go half rate. So if we take 13, your front lawn is 13,000 square feet. Good Lord, man. Okay, so we take 13 and we'll multiply that by 0.25. So 3¼ ounces, but then you said you want to go at half rate. So we'll divide that by 2. Let's see, 3.25, and then we'll divide that by 2, and my math comes out to 1.6 ounces, 1.625 ounces. So the next closest thing to that would be, I don't know, 1.6, 1.7 fluid ounces. So do that, measure that out using this. So that would be, let's see, you would go a half, another half, and then like between 0.1 and 0.2. So like that's going to get you close enough to a 16th, right? Or another tenth or so. So a half, and then in between one, and then in between, I'm doing this like you can actually see. So half, that's 1.5 fluid ounces. And then to get another tenth, like between, in this case, 1/10.5, between 0.1 and 0.2 is going to get you, close enough. It'll be close enough for doing half rate of Primo. And then 2 weeks from now, you could do the same thing again. So hope that helps. That is just doing some quick math here. Check my numbers, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. And you should be good to go. But remember, before you do any of that, calibrate your backpack sprayer, because it won't matter if you measure it out if you don't know how the rate that it's actually going down at. Okay, next is Kelby Ruiz. He says, hey, Ron, not sure if my comment made it last Friday. I got a McLean. Let the games begin. Yay for that. Awesome, Kelby. Congrats on the McLean. I'm sure it's going to serve you well. Make sure you keep it sharp and get out there and mow with it, man. You're going to get your stuff done. You're going to get it done. Let's see what else we got here. Next up is Daniel B. is saying that the Memory Sugar Pest Control is great stuff. I own fur babies, use it once per month and get great results. 0 issues. Would recommend. All right. And Todd, I saw your comment. I respectfully disagree, but you're free to do whatever you want to do. Appreciate you being in the live stream though anyway. All right, next up that's it. I think that's it for tonight, guys. We got Melvin Otta saying, thanks you for all your tips. You're very welcome, Melvin. And guys, that is all. So if you guys are interested in seeing, again, more footage and just me out there mowing and doing and having fun with C27 Evolution, be sure to subscribe to the channel and watch the stories, the YouTube stories. That's the way you're going to see a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. As well as if you're looking into getting your Primo Max, feel free to get that on the channel, on the Golf Course Lawn Store, as well as the Carbon Kit, 901C. All those things are in stock, and shipping now. And if anything else I can help you guys out with, definitely let me know. It was a great live stream tonight. I really do appreciate you guys taking the time. And we will catch up next week. Have an amazing